You better get ready.
Okay.
And we're live!
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 287 of Fancy Power. I'm joined with Nasty Nate, Nathan Kennedy, Tyler T-Rex Baker, and Ma Joe Locke, Joe Amato. And Joe, do you want to explain to us why we are a little late?
Well, hey, now see, look at here. This ain't the real reason we're late. It's probably Nathan. But what happened was,
This is not
right?
Yeah, this is the legit reason.
So right before he called,
Joe, you can
this
lie to
giant.
us. You can't lie to our listeners.
No,
Let them
listen.
know what was really happening here.
So right before I got on Skype, I came in the room, was coming up with my laptop, turned on the light. This giant black spider fell from the ceiling, landed, ran in a circle, and then ran at me. I was like, what the fuck? I grabbed a shoe and it smashed and hit it on that sucker. I hooked up my laptop and I lift up the shoe, and that fucker ran at me again. So I repeatedly smashed it like 10 times. I grabbed one of my card backs and I sliced him in half to make sure he was dead. I was like, God, I'm just getting fucking out of breath. And then I get on and I'm panting, and they're like, what the hell's wrong with you? And that's what happened. A giant spider. Actually, I've never had a spider come at me like it wanted to attack me. That was crazy as shit.
It's as Tyler stated, the spiders are tired of you eating them all.
Yes, yeah,
Nature strikes back, you know.
It sure did. I mean, I've never had, I don't know about you guys, but I've never had a spider actually come at me. But it was running in a circle like it lost its shit, and then just dashed it, darted at
Webster's
me.
lost his damn mind in your room there. You took a knife, you're like, Corey Feldman, die!
That's exactly right. I mean, I was beating the piss out of that thing with that shoe, and I wasn't taking chances. But that card back, once it slashed it in half,
Which card
that
back
was
did
it.
you use for the sacrifice?
It was this Orca one from the little
Origins?
minis, because
Oh.
yeah, I'll even grab the card back. You'll see, no, not the Origins. Hold on.
And here's the spider
Yeah,
splattered
I saved
all over it.
He ate it.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
well,
killed
hey,
it.
no,
He
he's
killed
saving it for later. It'll be great seasoning for his ramen
No, it
later
was
on.
the turkey minis. So like, I had the bubble because I was like, hey, I'm gonna reuse that bubble and I maybe make a another custom figure. But I was like I said,
Oh,
after I
my
smashed it, and I
gosh.
grabbed and I just was slicing back and forth like that. So it's all ingrained in the carpet. There's just black guts and black parts of its body.
Do you plan
It's
to just
spider
leave
gut.
it, or do you clean it up, Joe?
I'll clean it after the show, but
I mean, with
Yeah,
all
he's
the
gonna
other
leave
blood
it.
stains in the carpet, you know, cue smooth criminal, you know.
I mean, I don't. The spiders, I always will kill them. I have no issue, but I've never seen one that big and then go for an attack. I was like, what the hell's going on? It was like they
Are
said,
you okay? Are you okay?
could you make
Oh my God.
if it fell on me during the podcast, everything would have went to shit there. So
It'd be great if that was live.
that would have been a bad moment. The mask could have accidentally came off out of just, I don't know, confusion or shit. So Tyler was mocking. He was like, yeah, we're going to tell everybody that was Joe was on top of his chair with his dress screaming or something.
I mean, legit, the real reason is because I had to import all the video sources onto the different scenes that we're gonna have tonight, and I don't know. I like to refresh them after a few weeks, so everything's kind of settled. So that's the main reason. But
Oh, Christ. Well,
yeah.
quickly, I will acknowledge who I see in the chat. Then we could do another quick random stuff before we get into topics. But
someone do a Photoshop of like Joe fighting a giant spider.
Oh no!
Yeah.
no.
Make him
Take
Samwise
an image-
Gamgee with like Shalob. Was that her name?
Yeah, Sheila. Yeah.
Sheila.
Yeah.
I still want to see Joe as like a Looney Tune woman, like on a chair with a dress. I guess it's like Tom and Jerry cartoons. When Jerry runs out and there's some lady screaming and yelling at Tom to kill it. I want to see. I was thinking too. This podcast needs more kid merchandise. I think we need to have like a plush Joe Amato doll.
The mask and
With
the
the face,
scarf.
the mask, and he has he sits like this, like a teddy bear. He's got holes in his socks, so like one big toe's like sticking out, and it says like 4 things like this needs more butter. I swear it's not garbage. I didn't throw it away.
And then
things
and then it
"Hey, are you
shakes
gonna
when you
finish
squeeze
that?"
it.
Just
Yeah.
It cusses and then it'll shake violently.
No, that will be the adult version of it. We'll have the kiddie version
Oh,
that has those phrases. Then we'll have the adult version that just says "fuck" and "some bitch" because that's
Some
another one of your favorite things to
Okay.
say.
Well, let me quickly say
I think
a
kids
little
would love
bit.
it this year. I mean, it would bury anything like Tickle Me Elmo or Stop
I mean,
Touching
it
Me
would.
Elmo like they had on South Park.
Yeah,
Forget
the
logo.
mustard stains on the
Stick logo.
sweatpants.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
you pick me
that's
instead of
it. You can put ketchup or mustard stains on his white T-shirt. Gives you the option. And then if you want, you have accessory packs where you can have like more, food stains, smears, and smells. And all
Dollar
kinds
Tree
of stuff.
bag.
Yeah.
And it's temperature controlled, so like the mask starts to bleed butter too.
Could you imagine that?
Back there,
Flirt
starts
comes out of his
to-
eyeballs.
Oh God, we gotta go. Deuce, get on that shit. I want
Well,
the
let me-
commercial done by the end of the podcast, man. I want this launched on YouTube tomorrow. We'll get retro blasting involved. Everything.
I'm
It'll
pretty
be
sure those
great.
things used to touch. They had the temperature change. You'd push it and it changed color when it do it. Then it came back to normal. So yeah, you're right. Heat applied to the mask of the face. Looks like it's melting and everything's just going apart. And then it comes back to normal for next week. But let's say hello to Johnny Cock, Richard Castro, Papa Hood 69, Febmon, Fishy Toys, Anthony Albanese, Pride of Grayskull, Curtis Ackerman, Eric Sanchez, Adam Gabbert, Zaymot, Daniel Carhoonan, Zentron, Kal-El, Mobile Recluse. I'm scrolling down. Did I miss anybody? Rich. No, I said that. Tommy's here, and I think now I did. Oh, and Grimbot. Grimbot's here. How you doing? He wants to see the dead body. It's all smashed. Masters of the Universe fan number 1.
He ate
It's
it.
not talking about the
He ate it.
spider.
Ethan.
Covered
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, there is no body.
Yeah.
Joe ate the
Yeah,
evidence.
exactly. Did you imagine?
Yeah,
Like,
he always
it's
does.
sitting right there, but you picture him picking it up like this is just as good as the last time. But Jeff Morris,
Needs more
Ethan Michael
butter.
Crane, Ethan Michael Crane, and he guy. So everybody, thank you for joining us. But I'm thinking. Oh, and I did want to say hello or thank you to Zaymont because Zaymont reached out to me, wants me to do some like commission work for him. But in that, got along to a conversation about sending stuff. I was like, man, I don't really take none, but you know what? You can send me some ramen noodles or something. And he's like, I'll send you
No
some.
shame.
And so jokingly, I thought he was just gonna. I thought he was gonna send like 3 or 4. He sent.
But do you have food?
He sent me 120 packs of ramen noodles. So Zaymont, thanks a lot, man. That's like 4 months of food for me with the ramen noodles. I got
Yeah, a whole whopping $12 worth of ramen right there.
No. Well, remember you get 6 packs of ramen for $1 or 5 depending on the place you go. So man, that
I thought it was like 10 for a
no.
dollar or something.
It's either 5 or 6 pack depending on the place you go. So I told
Well,
man,
I mean, you would know. I'm not gonna
Rebecca,
argue
do
with
you
the
eat this
expert
shit?
over
Do you
here.
eat ramen noodles, Rebecca?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like when it gets cold out, I get soups and ramen noodles sometimes, but very rarely. I only like the really spicy kind. I don't.
all right.
Oh,
And
so
since you
noodles.
like spicy stuff, I'm gonna send you some really spicy sauce. You're gonna have to try. We're gonna have you doing some challenges like I did and see how you can take the heat.
Is it the fucking Dave's Gourmet?
No. That's lame compared to
Okay.
what I'd send her. What I'd send her is it's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. So we'll have to do it live, Rebecca. It'll be fun. Listen.
What is it? The bomb?
No, it's worse than that. It is. Trust me.
Really?
She gets
What's worse than the bomb?
Trust me. You'll see. I'll let everybody know after I do it. But
Something he made himself.
no, I
bet.
didn't make nothing of myself. But I did want to thank you, Zaymont. That was awesome because he really did not have.
Joe's like a
did
cooked
not-
meth head. Instead of cooking meth, he puts together like crazy ass concoction.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one story that was kind
I
of
feel like
cool. But
season
then
4 True Detective was going to be about trying to vote just Joe Amato and was like his best lad of hot sauce. Matthew McConaughey.
Oh man, can you and I play the
Oh,
detectives?
yeah,
That would be
that'd be
great. I'll be like Rustin Cole over here. Like I'll put my hair down a little bit, grow this out a little more, and just like look completely just strung out and tired all the time.
I just don't go home and jerk off to what you said, murder magazines or something like that about Matthew McConaughey. God,
Mhm.
you seen that, Rebecca?
Yeah.
True Detective, at least the first season.
No, I have not.
Oh damn.
Good. I'm not
Wonderful.
alone. I haven't either. One more rant story before we get in our time. Yeah, exactly. Before
Yeah.
before we get
It takes you 2 months to watch a 20-minute episode.
gonna
of G.I.
finish
Joe,
that
so,
episode tomorrow, I swear. So
We got
what
a poll
happened
here
was
going, people.
Pet
Everyone in the
episode.
chat room for this week. It's a guaranteed lock. I mean, Vegas can't beat these odds. That Joe will not finish episode 1 of The Traitor on YouTube for free. Anybody want some of the action? I mean, I'm letting everyone know right now.
Wait, you know what? He should give us his thoughts and a summary of the episode so we know that he really watched it. And if he doesn't do it by next week, there has to be some
We need
form
more
of
details.
punishment.
Not a summary, because he can go on and fucking Google and
Yeah,
YouTube, but like a
that's
summary
true.
real quick. We need to know he actually watched the episode.
I will. I really will. And you guys can grill me next week about it. But I did want to tell you one more crazy story that's kind of cool, but also sad for me at the same time when I went somewhere
More
yesterday.
sad than anything, but
Well, it was funny. I was like, well, it made it into something funny. I was at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree got hit by a car, by the way, so the wall was kind of smashed in one side.
Were you
so
in the
out of
car?
all things, no, shut up.
Was it you?
Piss off. Now listen. So I was in there, and there was.
What drugs were you on to run through the Dollar Tree and damage the Dollar Tree?
Listen,
what did they do to you, Joe?
So there was a lady.
Did they stop
You
selling
refused
your
to
favorite
coupon.
frozen burrito? Yeah.
Fuck off. So listen, so there was a lady ahead of me, and she had 2 kids with her. And while she was paying for her stuff, her one little daughter.
Pay for yours too.
Listen, she felt sorry for me. Fuck off. So
They pretended to be her kid.
I got his.
listen, her daughter needed a quarter, and she kept asking her, "Mom, I need a quarter, She's like, "I don't have one. I don't have one." So as she kept asking, I just reached in my pocket. I had 4. I said, "Here you go. You can take these." She's like, "Oh wow, thanks."
Whoa.
So Joe was actually, I did something nice, but here's what happened. So she used the money and all that, and then the woman, after she was done paying for all the groceries and stuff, gave $1 out towards me. I was like, no, I was like, that's okay. I was like, I'm fine with it. And she was like, well, thanks a lot. And she walked, off to the side. Then I paid for my stuff, and as I was leaving, she was standing by the door and looked at me, and she pulled down her mask. And I was like, oh, Denise. It was somebody I haven't seen in like 15 years, but she recognized me, but she had a mask on, so I didn't know who she was.
Unless you bet like she was wearing one of your masks.
Yeah.
Just the mask. So here's the thing. We then went outside, and we're standing in the parking lot, and I was just talking. We were catching up and stuff, and she started going to her car. She had a really nice yellow sports car. I was like, wow, that is a nice car you got. She's like, thanks. She's like, and that's a nice truck you got. And I was standing between a 2020 big-ass beautiful truck and my little 97 shitty Blazer. I was like, no, that's my vehicle right there. And she said, oh.
Oh, you should have played along, man.
Yeah,
No, but
and
You should
everything.
have played along.
Her reaction.
I mean, it wouldn't have made sense with all the holes in your
But
pants.
the reaction
and your...
of like what I said, no, that's mine. And she said, oh. And I was like, oh, sure. I said, owe me like I'm pitiful. And it was just fucking hilarious that she thought I had this giant, beautiful 2020 truck. And I, like in a fucking movie, pointed that poor Chevy Blazer sitting there.
There's a cloud.
That would be the thing. It's
like.
like, no, that one's mine. And then you just picture like a movie where it pans over to his Blazer and then like just the door falls off.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, unbelievable. So it was kind of that, oh, and then.
Noise it comes out of the car, too, just because it seems fitting.
Wait. So she's got that nice ass car and couldn't even spare a quarter, and you had to give her daughter a quarter?
Well, she was using a card to do it. She just didn't have change. I gave the change, and then she had a $1 bill after, and that was it. But that fucking car thing, I was like, God.
So how long did you have to hang out in front of that Dollar Tree to recoup that expense? How long were you out there begging for change to
get that
you had to
quarter
get
back?
back? I know, you're missing it pretty hard. I imagine when he hands it over to the kid goes to grab it, and he's still kind of like holding on to it.
That's
like,
my money!
okay.
Shake it. They're tug of war with it. Oh, shit. So, yeah, I'm a nice guy once in a while, and I can afford $1 here and there. But that's it. Let's get to a conversation. Now, let's get to some
You didn't give up $1. You gave up a quarter of $1.
Yeah,
Well, no, I gave 4 quarters. I gave 4 quarters to her.
Oh, you
so
gave
if she
4? I
wanted...
thought you gave her a quarter.
No, I gave 4. She wanted a quarter, but I gave 4 to her. So, see, look at that.
Are you hinting that
Holy
you
shit.
need a handout, Joe? By telling us this story, do you need us to send you $1?
Let me say,
How much do I got to PayPal you?
hey, Zaymont, could you send 4 quarters in the mail? Everybody sending quarters to Joe. What's your address? And I suddenly got just
So
a
Joe
ton
can
of
fill up
piles.
stinky socks with a sock full of quarters. And
Oh, man. Oh, God. So, let's go, let's get into a topic. However you want to start.
what a transition. I wish Joe was in television, because Joe's transition from one topic to another is uncanny.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's out there. I agree. But go ahead.
Are you getting hot there, Joe?
So, like-
getting worked up there?
Yes. Yeah,
He's probably thinking about Denise. Denise, if you're watching the show.
Can you tell us what Joe looks like in real life?
Yeah.
oh, she was there, and like I said, with her daughters there.
Her
And,
face all pixelated and dubbed over,
Yeah.
no, because I was having,
looks like a
I was having him cracked up. I was just
I
cracking
had
jokes.
such a crush on Joe back in the day, but he wouldn't give it up to me.
But she was like, we're.
He kept saying something about fighting vipers, and I didn't understand the reference.
And he kept saying,
just
like,
walked
"Hang
away.
on, I'm going to bounce the alphabet," while I was trying to put the moves on him. And he wouldn't have
Oh,
it.
shit. We gotta get into a topic. You guys are making me sweat. Go ahead.
Making him blush.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Well, how do you want to start? Nathan, you pass it to Rebecca, and we'll see how we get going.
As if like Nathan.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
like,
he's
as if-
not talking
let's
to
pass
you,
it
by
to
the way.
Rebecca.
He's-
knows somewhere
you're the
down
middle
road
guy.
that it's okay for her to talk now.
Yes, yeah, it's not
Well,
like
tell
she's in
Rebecca.
the room
Well,
with
Nathan,
us
you
at
tell
all.
Joe that.
Yes, fuck
I love-
you, Joe.
I- Rebecca,
Oh man.
I did not mean it like that. I just didn't want to feel like I was excluding Nathan
Well, the
because
three of us here, we all
Nathan,
felt
tell
the
Joe I
same
forgive
way.
him.
Yeah.
She says, "Fuck you, Joe."
thank you. Rebecca, you start, and we're going to talk about Fisto. So go ahead.
So, this is a character I love, and obviously he doesn't get enough respect. And yeah, he's so cool. He's just I'm gonna talk to him. That he's just like a powerhouse, you know. I think. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm running on.
You're fine. You're fine.
She's running on very
I'm running
little
on 5
sleep.
hours of sleep. I'm sorry. No, I love Fisto. He's a
Here's your
powerhouse.
origins with the character. Like, what's your memory of seeing the character for the first time in toy form, cartoon? Give us all the cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah. And Fisto's Forest was the first time I saw him, and he's just so
Think
cool.
about
And then
him as
like,
a bad guy. When he was a bad guy, like interpreted,
Yeah,
did you
when
like
he's a bad
that
guy.
kind of story, or did you think it was weird? You know, them, saying he was at one time bad. Did you like that, or?
I I'm okay with that, but I see him more of a noble character, not so much like, oh, I used to be bad and now I'm good kind of thing. But I'm always just so happy to see him. Like the games isn't like a great episode, but
Nope.
I just love seeing Fisto, so I like that episode because of that. And like showing that he's like the second strongest to He-Man is so cool. You know, he's such a powerhouse.
That was always my thought of the character too as a kid, even before seeing the games. Is that, in my opinion, Fisto was number 2.
Mhm.
Like if He-Man wasn't available, Fisto was the next guy called up in terms of like strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in terms of strength.
Yeah. And I'd say he's a pretty reliable guy too, not like how NYP portrayed him, which I fucking hate to this day.
I'm not a fan of the
God.
Fisto. I don't like the whole, oh, he's related to Man at Arms. He's
Oh,
possibly
thank
Tila's
you.
father. I don't like that gross fist. Like,
Yeah, he
The-
just has his abnormal right fist. They're like, what the fuck?
did they ever explain that? Like, why?
No. They just. I guess they just thought, well, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he have one big? Well, just make it really big.
Because it's a
Jeez.
glove.
I was actually-
because it's a iron
I-
glove. That's why it's big, not because he's deformed.
I was gonna ask you guys like sort of what you preferred in terms of how they handled it. For me personally, and I told Tyler this a few days ago, I think Fisto's Forest is a shitty fucking episode. I don't like.
I hate when he
how,
gets like stuck
that-
under the tree and it just gets kind of goofy.
Which I actually have that. I will swap out these images really quick because I wanted to make a point to put that on the screen as well. And the character, what's the character's name? Is it Yarrow? Is that who it was?
I can't. That's one episode. I don't have all the character names.
the dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
shit,
dad.
I don't
know,
remember.
yeah, I can't remember.
The line delivery. I'm assuming that it's Lou Scheimer that did that
I'd
voice.
say 95% sure it was. Yeah.
Because I was listening to it on my headphones here, and I'm like, that's the take you guys went with, because you could hear like the
A lot of
hesitation and
the voice
reading the
acting in that
dialogue. And I'm
one.
like,
It's a little.
it's honestly, out of all the ones that I've like watched for the show or kind of watched in my own time, like that one was up there. Where I'm like, man, that was just really shitty. I'm like, that's the best you could do to bring Fisto in here is like a log falls on him, which let me go ahead and get that up here really quick. There. So there it is on the screen. Look at the size of that thing, and Fisto is completely trapped in power. I just don't
Yeah,
buy
the
that
Fisto from
at
the mini
all.
comic would just be like, that's
Yeah.
nothing to him.
Yeah, and
Well,
this
even
one
how
being
Fisto's-
looked like it was hollowed out too. At least it appeared to be. I thought it was supposed to be like a hollowed out log, and it was a stupid setup because how they he put it there in front of the cage, like, okay, now you're not going to get out. It's like, no, they weren't going to get out to begin with, but this sitting there, that's definitely going to make them not get out. And then, who's trapped with Tila and Orko, and what was it, Rhea, or I couldn't remember her name. I feel like an idiot that I forgot.
I think, yes, I want to say it's
Rhea.
Okay, and then,
right.
you're right, it falls on him, and you're right. I think, okay, I don't think all the strength is supposed to be, if you're supposed to be second to He-Man possibly, just in your fist. It's like your whole body's like, bash that fucking, just lift, get up. But yeah, then he was able to get the fist to do it. But in my introduction, like I said, the Fisto was first the figure. So when I seen this episode, I hated the thought of them even trying to say he was evil at one time and has this Arachna sidekick and then working with Skeletor.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
kinda
had
weird.
this. Yeah, it was like, it was all
very,
over the place.
just rushed and like we gotta think of
Disjointed
something
and all
for
over
him.
the place. Yeah, it was just, it was all over the place, and I didn't like that for being any kind of origin. It didn't do him any service or justice, in my opinion. I did not like that. And also, like, I mean, just talking about the character in general, and when you think of this, I mean, you think of all the gimmicks. You think of Jitsu with his giant golden glove, his, bam, to chop and smack the shit out of people. You think of Clawful with his giant claw. With Fisto, as a kid and still as an adult, it's a giant fist, everyone. And the name Fisto is just a play on words like they do with every other name. At no point as a kid or even an adult did I ever think of this as some kind of sexual kind of fucking thing. Like, oh, Mattel knew what they were doing when they... Yeah, it's like, what do you mean Mattel knew what they were doing? Like, okay, you perverts might want to fucking turn this into a joke about, doing something with the fist. But I was like, nobody ever thought that. As a kid, you never thought that once. And I guarantee none of you guys ever thought that when you had that figure.
I mean, I wouldn't even think of it now, really. But that's
it's all
just
for
me.
people who don't like the property, so they just think it's why
they just get a glance of a dumb meme and come up with their own. But no, I never thought of it. I've never thought of it that way. I didn't even know what that shit was, until like a couple years ago.
I don't think many people would get
why
in
do
that.
people make fun of Fisto? I'm like, I don't get it until someone explained it to me. I'm like, well, that's gross.
And then you're like, oh, yeah.
I hope anybody who listens to this podcast and you partook, whatever the fuck, in those reindeer games of making fun of Fisto, I hope you're fucking ashamed, because I got no use for you as a fan. You're not a casual fan. You're not a hardcore fan. You're not even a substandard casual fan. If you thought that shit was funny, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you if I ever see you in person. No matter where it's at. If I find out you're one of those assholes that push the Fisto fisting an asshole joke, I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
I could just imagine Tyler now walking around various conventions, just all huffy and puffy, just like stomping around. It's like, did you say that about Fisto? And they're like, hey man, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
Should we do that at PowerCon next
Say that
week?
about Fisto one more time.
Did you fucking do it? I'll put a fist in your face.
Now, picture the logic, though. I mean, nobody has ever made a joke about Jitsu with a hand just as big, or Clawful with a claw even bigger than that. But because this is a fist and it's in his name, he unfortunately gets the stupid jokes on him. And I was like, but the others
How long ago did that happen? How long has it been?
God, I can't remember.
It's under a
Jokes
decade,
started?
I think. It wasn't when Classics was still, like, Classics was going, but I'm pretty certain like Classics was still... It was still running. It's kind of, I almost want to kind of tie it in.
Before Super 7?
Yeah, it was before Super 7. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say it was almost somewhere in the vicinity of the same, like, Prince Adam is gay YouTube video shit, with the rainbows and all that stuff, and hey, what's going on bullshit.
And the same as the Skeletor meows.
Yeah, Skeletor.
Yeah, and the meow stuff. Yeah. No, just like I said, when
All
I
made
see
by
him,
people
he's
who've
a
never fucking watched
go ahead,
the show.
Oh,
Sorry.
they haven't.
Yeah, you're right. No, you are right.
Or they don't have time to watch it, or they sat down and watched it while they were taking shit one time. They're like, oh yeah, I watched an episode. It didn't really hold up. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I just always envision it. I mean, he's a badass warrior. He has this giant metal glove. Yes, he can open, he can close, but he can smash the living shit out of stuff. It's like boxers. You get these big ass gloves, you're gonna start fucking going to town. You're gonna be going toe to toe with people. You're gonna be fighting. And when I seen him, I was like, that's all I questioned or ever thought was, that's a giant metal fist. He's just gonna bash the shit out of anything and people. So to me, I mean, it was just always just an awesome warrior. I never thought anything less of him. And he has this sword that we didn't see much of. I mean, we've seen it in some of the comics, including Clash of Arms, where for
Which I thought
some
was such a cool addition to
Yeah.
him when I got him as a kid. That he had a big.
Yeah.
I had to use that as my He-Man movie sword when I was a kid because I lost the power sword as a kid. So that was my.
I've seen a
He-Man
lot of
movie sword.
customizers do that. A lot of
Yeah.
customizers have done that
God,
too.
So cool. man.
Look, yep. There you go. I'll be honest. I never like played with him with the sword. That was the one thing I didn't do. I just
Loser.
like it. Yeah, I know.
You could have come over to my house to play.
That's right. Like,
Stay
get
at
the hell
home.
out of here, Joe. But I didn't. It just went to the side when it was him fighting. It was just having the fist. I think I would display him at times, standing there with the sword. But otherwise, I was like, what a shitty accessory. Fuck that sword. But he got the brush out of the way when he's in Clash of Arms. I'm gonna get brush out of the way with this sword. It's like, come on, what the hell do you need this sword for? You don't need just like Jitsu. I don't give a fuck. I don't want him having the sword.
Because you can be like whacking and slash and then whacking and slash.
Yeah.
Whacking and
Where the hell-
slashing.
Where the hell you got no point with this, Joe? You got no case. You hell's no water. And you brought
All right,
Jitsu
okay,
into
I'm
this?
outta here.
God, I'm gonna
right,
slap
what
you.
else?
I'm gonna
See you
Jitsu
guys.
slap you.
See, you Jitsu slap me, but you won't sword slash me. So Jitsu,
I will
you don't
sword
get the
slash you
sword for
too.
him.
You want them both?
I don't want it, but like I said, it was
I'll
useful
sword
for
right
getting.
over here, asshole.
Listen, shit nuts. He was able to at least use it to get the brush out of the way in Clash of Arms, so I guess it is a useful fucking tool, huh? I'm a dick. All right, hey Nathan, what are
Telling
you
me a guy with a giant fist that can use a broadsword like that's not as threatening? But nah.
At least it looked cool though when he had it for when he got his gigantic sword and he had the bigger one. He got that, I think, in the 2000X line and classics they gave him a bigger sword, so that was at least cool. But that shitty sword, I was like, nah, nothing for me. Am I a mood killer here? Am I fucking pissing
No.
Tyler off? Is he wanting to? He's like, fuck this. He's like, I'm off the show.
No, I
He's
would
like,
take my fist here and smash it clean out of your ass is what I would do.
see, fist. There you go. See, it's proving my point every time. But yeah. So what? Some more thoughts, Nathan, Tyler, go ahead. Rebecca gave her thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on Fisto?
Thank you,
The
Joe.
great sword. Fucking sword.
Are you sure, Joe, that you don't want to ask me to pass along to Tyler to give his thoughts on Fisto?
I swear I did not mean that when I was saying that for Rebecca. It's just I didn't want to dismiss you, Nathan, because I felt like you.
No, it's
So I
it's
thought they
totally
would-
fine. We all know who this show is really about.
Listen,
No, because
And that's Joe
everybody
Mata.
likes Joe because Joe is the super positive guy, the guy that doesn't want to disagree with the fans out there. So
Well, I mean, if he did, then he wouldn't be getting like 180 packs of ramen
yeah,
noodles or
or
whatever.
Listen,
custom
see,
jobs, or
what I
any
said
other
about
jobs,
Nathan,
or
it almost sounds
or
like I was
porters,
slighting.
or-
And I swear it wasn't slighting Nathan, but it almost sounded like I was like, I wanted you to talk, Nathan, because you didn't say much, and then Rebecca would have talked because I felt like you didn't talk much, Nathan. So it was
But you're
kind of
treating Nathan like he's your peon. He's your G's.
But I
Geez,
didn't
would you
mean
mind
it.
asking
So-
the young lady to my right?
so it
Would be
actually
willing
wasn't.
so kind to share her thoughts on
Which
the.
how ironic is that,
So,
man?
it wasn't-
He's got holes in his pants, and he's like over here treating everybody like that. Come
So
on.
it wasn't slighting Rebecca. It was in a way slighting Nathan, but I
There's a
didn't mean to slight
sitcom.
Nathan either. I didn't
Bubbo,
mean to
Joe,
slight
and his
anybody.
butler.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
His
I'll-
butler's
I'll-
just like a
Would you like
Popeyes
the
rapper.
sweaty sweatpants
Look there,
off
look,
the
there.
iron,
I'm zipping it. I swear I won't say nothing. I'll keep quiet. Go ahead. Where was it?
You got to change masks for that, Joe.
I apologize. Go ahead.
You should have different masks for like different, like if
Moods.
you're worried or
Yeah.
if you're and you just swap them out constantly during the show. That would be like just put your head down and lift up. Here's a new face. That'd be kind of cool. When it comes to Fisto in NYP, I'm with you guys that I don't particularly enjoy just the oversized fist because that opens up a lot of questions that you would have, especially when you toss in the whole thing of like he's the older brother of Man-at-Arms. And I'm just like, all right, well, is this just a birth deformity? Did something else happen before that? So I like the idea that he's got a normal sized fist, but it's just wrapped up in this gauntlet. But what I did enjoy about him in 2000X, especially his introduction, is of course, he's at the bar hanging out. He punches people, he gets angry, and he likes to hit things. And I'm like, all right, I can.
And he's
I
an
can gel with
alcoholic
all of
too.
that.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know. I don't think it's implied that he's an alcoholic. What are you trying to say, Joe? That I'm an
I was not
alcoholic?
implying that. I was just saying
Kind of like
you
the
guys.
saying that Joe's not homeless. We're not implying it.
Yeah, right.
Great.
But I think because I watched the other NYP episodes here too, just to kind of see Fisto in action, and overall, I would say oversized fist aside, I like the portrayal of Fisto in NYP over Filmation. So I imagine the rest of you all sway more towards Filmation. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
his
that,
Is
best
it
isn't a
primarily
mini
for
comic.
the oversized fist?
what's that?
Is it primarily for just like the oversized?
No,
Like,
no.
No, it's
Um,
sorry. Go ahead, Tyler.
oh, no. Go ahead.
It's just gonna say it's the whole. He's related to Man at Arms, which is just
It shrinks
since Star
the
Wars,
world.
it's the laziest like thing a writer can do. Is like, well, just make everybody related. That'll add drama. It's like
And
it worked
depth,
for
and
Star
yeah.
Wars, and it ended with Star Wars. You need to stop doing that.
And it doesn't benefit anybody. There's nothing that you walk away. I remember being genuinely pissed when they said that, and then you see
Mhm.
the flashback of the injured warrior sitting next to the sorceress, like, motherfucker, it's Fisto. And it's just like, God, what you people got so many fucking stupid ideas. King Grayskull and Fisto with his big ass one hand and fucking
was just-
sorceress.
I just thought that was
stupid.
so gross. His big old hand. I'm like,
Well, it was just
I always-
lame and unoriginal, and
I always
I don't
imagined
like-
that he had lost his hand.
that either that
like-
or it's just it's an attachment to his hand, like it was like like the knuckles were severed so badly, like
See
it's
that
almost
people.
like a weapon to enhance the use of the right hand.
Hmm.
But honestly, I like the idea that it's never explained because like with most Masters of the Universe, it's so much more better keeping things in the dark and leaving it a world of mystery. You start over explaining.
Yeah,
things,
not
Scott
everything
Alec,
needs to
Rob
be-
David.
yeah, I don't think. I guess what I was trying to say is all of those, if they would have changed that, it would have worked out better for the character. I was just kind of comparing like what he does in the episodes that he's in compared to like, let's say Fisto's Forest.
Well, and that's a bad
where he
example.
has the log
too,
falling on him.
and even his
Yeah.
only really good episode is he's not a prominent character. Is to save Skeletor. Like that was his first episode,
Yeah.
and he doesn't do a whole lot in it. But I love his voice with that echoing boom to it.
Oh yeah,
When he speaks, it's very very bad. It's like when I heard that, oh my god, what a cool voice.
that's like the perfect voice. That was Lou Scheimer, right?
Yeah, it was Lou. Yeah.
Lou.
And-
So that's just that couldn't have been more perfect for
And
Fisto. I think.
it's so different
It's
because
so-
a lot of times Lou's voice is relatively similar a lot of times, but that one with the echo to it made it drastically different.
It
much
just
like
made it seem like
Mechanum's first
like
voice.
huge and powerful.
Yeah, it
Like-
sounded like this guy is like he could level Snake Mountain if he wanted to, just
Mhm.
with that voice alone. It was a great addition to the voice there, and and why I didn't like the voice actor for Fisto. He's played, I think, Wolverine and Wolverine in the X-Men. He was used a lot in a lot of cartoons. I never liked the voice that much. And it just kind of made me feel like, oh, this is like generic. Because people were kind of up in arms a little bit when Cam Clark was announced to be He-Man, because they felt like, oh, he's used all the time. Like, you just kind of went after like one of the more cliche voice actors to play He-Man. And Cam did a decent job as He-Man. I mean, he's no John Irwin. But I did not like it.
And he's no whoever the fuck played him in Revelation.
Oh yeah.
I'm
That was the most forgettable.
Everything,
voice.
like everything else was in that fucking cartoon. But unfortunately, Fisto didn't get a whole lot of great episodes. He got the games, Fisto's Forest, and I remember when I rented that, it was on one of those VHS tapes that had 5 episodes on it, and it was all episodes I had never seen. I was in 5th grade, and like Fisto's Forest, like, and I was, oh my god! And I watched it, like, what the fuck? He's a bad guy? Like, I didn't buy that for a second when I watched it. I was so not broken hearted, but I was like deflated, like Mr. Big Head when he found that he didn't get the job promotion on Rocco. Like, I deflated in my chair. Like, this fucking sucks. And all these other episodes on this VHS tape are no good. Origin of the Sorceress was on there too, and like Strider was in it, but I really don't care for this episode that much.
Did you have you had the toy before you saw that episode,
Yeah,
right?
I got.
And did you have the
Christmas
mini
on 87.
comics?
It came with Clash
before?
of Arms, Christmas '87.
Nice.
So that was my one and only introduction to the character.
So that was
until,
all right. So that's the perfect introduction to him. You cannot
Yeah.
get a better one.
No, that was it. But what if I wasn't done talking about my times with Fisto and you pulled a Joe Amato and cut
Sorry.
me off? Joe, your habits are floating over on her.
It's not good.
Oh,
That's
but
not
you know
good.
what, people?
Yeah.
If you really want to hear more about what we think about Fisto, you can go all the way back to the old days when Bozone was
No.
on the podcast with us.
Please don't
Yeah.
do that.
But yeah, I think we discussed Fisto quite a bit. Like he's a badass. Him and Clan Champ and He-Man are my three like strongest men on Eternia. That's my trifecta of strength and machismo. You know, when I think of like the tough humans on Eternia, there I like.
I enjoyed Fisto more in mini comics, books, and as toy form. I mean, hell, even I know it's not like an amazing fucking thing to see, but I mean, even like Demons of the Deep, you get to see him fucking punch off the head of a giant snake robot. He gets jitsu. Yeah, he fucking punches out jitsu. Hell, even in Secret of the Dragon's Age, he gets to get a body blow to Goatman. Goatman, boom, right in the gut. So it's like he had his good time to shine, but I mean, nothing beats Clash of Arms, which we'll get into right now. That is the definitive fucking story for Fisto. And not
see, Joe, that's how you do a segue, man.
That's right. Oh, the other ones, it's because I'm rambling like a lunatic. That one, I know how to play in some, but when I'm fucking all worked up like a nut, I will just try to quickly segue, and it makes absolutely no sense, but that's just like me. I don't make sense half the time. But yes, Clash of Arms, not only his best fucking portrayal, but best fucking mini comic they had in history.
Single best piece of American literature of all time. I still want someone to Photoshop the mini comic.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I'm going to say it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I want someone to Photoshop this really like pompous ass with his smoking jacket and cigar or pipe, sitting in front of a fireplace holding the Clash of Arms mini comic. Because I want people to know it is the best fucking piece of literature ever done. We can thank Christy Marks for that. Thank you, Danielle, for pointing out that fact to us a long time ago. Christy Marks is the one responsible for writing this badass buffet, and Larry Houston, with his godlike power, illustrated it for us.
And now we're going to get to it. Rebecca, you go ahead and start with the Clash of Arms. See, I did that, Nathan. I ignored you completely, Nathan.
I wasn't asking for your permission. I was waiting for someone just to give me their thoughts, and now you're giving Rebecca permission to talk.
Oh, I wasn't acknowledging you, but I really wasn't acknowledging Nathan. Nathan's like a dickhead.
What the hell she wants?
That's right.
Do I have your permission, Joe, to talk now?
It's because she's a woman. She gets women live and all that stuff.
Like, so sexist, Joe.
God, I'm terrible, ain't I? So,
you'd be like J.C. Spanish, like, you sexist pig. And Joe's Italian, just like Mario Lopez. No, wait, he's Chicano, just like Saved by the Bell college years. Anybody get that
Oh,
reference?
yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that episode where he gets really, really pissed off and wants to find out his heritage, so he's like hanging out with that chick, and of course Zach's being an asshole and doesn't
well, if I'm
totally
gonna do that,
understand
well,
until the end of the
To be a
episode.
Chicano.
Well, if I have to introduce Rebecca, then I'm like, okay, Mama, go ahead, get talking about Clash of Arms. Isn't that what he'd do? Call her Mama.
And Rebecca,
See,
how would you respond to that if he said that?
I don't know.
Oh, no, come on. There's only two words you could say. If he calls, all right, Mama, give us your thoughts, and you say,
I don't know.
See, look, she's.
Well, actually, it'd be three words. Yeah.
Fuck
You're
you,
an
Joe.
asshole? What?
No. Fuck you, Joe.
Fuck you, Joe.
Well, now it just doesn't have the oomph anymore.
No, we got to pull it out. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm so out of it tonight. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. But go ahead, Rebecca. Your thoughts on Clash of Arms when you first read it?
I'm
What you
still
think
just
of the
coming
comic?
back around to it.
Uh,
Rebecca, please, just talk.
it's I know you guys already talked about this, and I'm sorry for the people who were like, didn't you guys already?
Jason was kind of upset about that. He's like, didn't you guys talk about this a year ago?
Sorry, next time I pick a
he's
topic.
He's upset about everything, though. So, I mean, to be fair.
No, I'll try and pick something. When I get to pick a topic, I'll try and pick something you guys
Well,
haven't
hell, at
done
least
next time. But
it gave us better time to actually have Fisto shine, because on that episode that, just like Tyler talked about, that needs to be forgotten. So this was a time for him to redeem himself with a good discussion on Fisto, and then leading right into his best comic. So
yeah, Clash of Arms it's my favorite mini comic. That's why when you told me to pick a mini comic, I picked that one because, like you guys, it's my favorite one. It's just so. What's the word? It's so alive. Like, you can feel all those fucking hits and punches, and it's just like, God, you feel so much for Fisto in it. Like, and at the same time, you're like, yeah, he's getting tired out. It is just like has these villains coming at him one after the other, and he's still holding up, and you're just like, damn, this dude is a fucking powerhouse. It's just so good. And then, like, right before he's fully defeated, then it's like, okay, He-Man shows up just at the right time, and then that beautiful drawing of him coming through, it's so good. It's so fucking good.
You can hear the He-Man theme like kick right in
Yeah.
when he comes in with Stridor.
Exactly, and it's like
Yeah.
just at the right time. But damn,
And
it
it
just hold his own.
It definitely, and it shows the talent of Larry Houston. Meaning, how we've always said, a lot of comic artists these days, they can't tell a story with their art in the panels. They're relying more on the dialogue.
This could be completely without dialogue, and you would.
There you go. And that's how Larry did it. It was beautiful. You could look at it, every fucking thing that's going on just by the panels and by the pictures. They're powerful. They're, like you said, they're alive. They're full of so much emotion just by looking. You know what's going on. You wouldn't even need the dialogue. But yes, the dialogue, helps flow the story. But unlike a lot of other comics you read recently, and sometimes even from the past, it's just like they're relying more on the dialogue. And then the story shit. It's like, well, what's going on here? What is supposed to happen there? You don't question anything what's going on in this story. And you're right. He's getting, like I said, he's getting the shit kicked out of him, but he's handling his own. He's fighting so many fucking people. I mean, two of them, Webstore and Triclops at the beginning just get, knocked back from Stridor. And, well, eventually then, they're not going to be part of the games. They're not going to be in this arena, in this circle of doom. But, it's the only one that, beats the living piss out of him is Whiplash. I think the only thing that Fisto got to do at one time was just block the tail coming down, but it didn't matter because Whiplash slammed the living shit out of him.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's a story that shows, yes, you can tell a story without He-Man. Yes, this is great. This is not a He-Man-centric story, but he does show up at the end. Yes, he's there because you would still expect him at some point to show up. But, it shows, look how great a story can be, and it didn't have to rely on He-Man, but it's every panel. That's why I love it. I'm looking at it right now, what we're seeing here, just what Nathan's throwing up. Just every panel is just so it's like it could be its own piece of art that you'd like to have.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Houston, God
yeah,
damn,
I gotta pick one out for him to sign next week at PowerCon.
Yeah, what do you think would be your favorite?
I'm having a hard time picking one.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm having a really hard time. I'm like, I love that. I have it in front of me. Sorry.
Are you gonna get like a specific panel printed out to have him?
I think so.
Oh my God, what a brilliant idea!
Because I'm like, I love that He-Man coming in on Stridor image. All of the things it's also good. Like all the Whiplash panels it's fucking awesome. And then I just love the first with Fisto on Stridor, just that first image. So I'm like tossing it up between those. Yeah,
there's a lot.
Having a it's a really hard time. I gotta come up with it soon though.
The whole collage of Whiplash shit, though. I mean, that whole fight on that one page. It's like, God, that's gold. That one right there is gold.
And then on the first page, that panel with Jitsu just like whacking him. It's just like
that's one of my favorites. Is like in that shot of, because I've always thought this quartet of Triclops, Webstore, Clawful, and Jitsu, it was so impressionable on me as a kid. It was my first time seeing Webstore, Jitsu, and Clawful. I'd seen Triclops and Diamond Ray, but seeing those three together and Stridor, like it was all for me seeing these characters. And I just thought they were such imposing, cool villains, like because they were so menacing. They were beating the shit out of Fisto, and they just looked, I mean, like just purified badass. Like Clawful to this day, how he's depicted there, it's above anything in Filmation, anything we've seen anywhere else. That is by far my single favorite interpretation of Clawful and Jitsu. I always associate those two together, Clawful and Jitsu, because of this mini comic. Like I purposely, if I was given an opportunity to write, I would put them as buddies or like cohorts that you would see them working together with Skeletor or on their own, or they're at Snake Mountain. Like keep like fucking Skeletor. So like I just would see those two. I just see them as a duo, much like Webstore and Cobra Khan, Jitsu and Clawful, all because of this mini comic. And it was that fucking impressionable. Like, and the colors too, the colors of the green, a landscape and the trees. And
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Tyler.
Nathan, can you tell Joe to stop laughing, please, at Tyler's stories?
Hey, Joe, fuck you.
I'm sorry. I picture Rebecca. You can just go and say, Larry, could you send a picture of Fisto using his sword as a weed whacker and give it to Tyler? What a worthless fucking... Look at that. I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to clean...
See, this is why people think people who like toys are weirdos. Because of shit like this. Like Joe thinks he's funny,
looking
but
for things.
It's a fucking weed whacker. Oh, a horrible sword. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tyler.
Maybe it was Joe's humor fall a little flat.
I didn't mean to laugh at you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, Joe.
Yeah, me too.
Tyler's over here having like a very good in-depth discussion, and you're giggling about a sword.
Sorry, it didn't get out of my head since Rebecca was talking about I'm gonna get a picture signed, and the only thing I could think of was a fucking sword. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I love all you guys.
You're more than that, there, Joe.
Go ahead.
You were talking about the colors, Tyler, before you were so rudely interrupted.
I know. Thank you.
I didn't mean to. I'm like Homer Simpson. I get a stupid thought in my head. I can't fucking get it out, and that one did not leave my head. I'm sorry.
It's like he does have Tourette's. He can't hold it in.
Joe is. It's like a special kind of Tourette's, you know.
I got problems. Guys.
Whacking weeds. Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, I really am sorry, Tyler. I really am. I couldn't help.
Well, no, you're not.
I am. You can tell. I'm sorry.
Getting to whack his own weeds. Like, oh God.
Yeah. I mean, he says that his mind, no, you say your mouth runs at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like your brain does the same thing.
And sometimes his hand does too.
It's hard to keep up.
It's all that cocaine.
It's
all that cocaine.
It is. That's
you gotta stop doing that.
That's why I don't like typing messages. I tell everybody I gotta leave voice message because really my hands cannot keep up with my brain. So picture when I talk, that barely keeps up with it. So yeah, I'm always saying shit that doesn't make sense. Oh fuck! All right, I'm done. I really am. I will not interrupt no more.
It's out of your system now.
It's out. I crossed my.
You okay?
Good. I'm good.
All right. So
because there are
back to the colors.
Here, Joe, so.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'll set a timer once you go to see when Joe interrupts you again.
Okay. Because we know he likes to interrupt.
We should have like a timer at the bottom of the of the video, and every time he cusses or every time he interrupts somebody, he's like.
And it could be like one of those like incidents at workplace signs kind of thing, like
how many
time since last interruption.
Or whenever he does screw up, we all scream like a Pee-wee's Playhouse. Whenever Joe fucks up, we all scream out loud, you know. We all.
Shit.
No, but those first few opening panels of the opening battle, I just thought were so damn colorful because of all that, and that's what kind of left an impression on me too, was how colorful the characters were. With Jitsu with the gold, Clawful with the brown and the red. Webstorm is like very color of variations of blue, and Triclops. It was just, oh my god, this is such a colorful bunch of villains that they're all just in stride. I'm like, who is this robot horse? It was just it left me with so many questions, so many desires, so many wants, and it would just be, you know, pining for all these characters and have to ask kids in elementary school who didn't want their He-Man toys anymore to trade them to me. You know, that's how I got most of them. At least the ones here were all trades. So I have a great affinity for this mini-comic, and would go back and look at it over and over and over again. I thought Whiplash was quite fearsome because of how he talked and just throwing Whiplash or Fisto all over the place. I loved how Larry drew Skeletor. He drew him very Filmation-esque in a lot of his mini-comics. Like, he looks like he was pulled right out of Filmation. And Evil Lynn looked particularly quite good too, because it's it's just nice. I almost feel like wish there was like a particular can that would use her yellow skin motif. Like, I just think that yellow skin motif with the blue outfit,
I always like that.
It's very badass looking, and I get why they go with a more Filmation look, I guess, for the most part. But I love the yellow skin. Like, if we were running the show, that would be our Evil Lynn, would be the yellow skin Evil Lynn, because I just love, because I think I got that Flash of Arms with her too when I got her at Hills. Yeah, if you thought there.
So when you have two copies of that as a kid, are you like just trying to? Would you just read one and keep the other as minty as you could?
No, it was just because if Mom ever saw any stuff sitting aside, because I remember all the mini comics were taken away at one point. Like, they were, I had no idea what happened to them, and we found a whole stack of them in the storage bin in Blacksburg, like, I think in the early 90s. Like, my mom and dad we went over there to look through some stuff, and my mom said, "Hey, tell look what I found." And my stack of mini comics and Clash of Wands was like right there. Like, holy shit! And I couldn't believe it. So I was going through that. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You know, the Hordak mini comic, Snake Attack. I'm trying to remember what else was in there, but it was such a big deal to be able to revisit that book because I thought they were gone. I thought, because some parents aren't like Nathan's parents, where they hold on to every single thing that you get. And so it meant a lot to me that they weren't thrown away; they were just put away safely. Because they just got lost in the move. I think when we moved to our house in Fairlawn. But I would always go back to that. When I would write stories in elementary school, I would always write that roster of characters because of Clash of Arms. I'd put Jitsu, Webstor, Triclops, and Cloth were all sitting at the table with Skeletor. Like I always had to include them. Oh, and Goatman too. Oh, and this guy too. And then I would just start roster building instead of telling a damn story. I can't. And that's my problem today. I get Axel or Kevin to do commissions for me. I'm like, can I want him in there too. Oh, and this guy too. And I'm sure I'm driving him fucking nuts.
That'll be an extra $200. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, do it.
Give it to him. But I always feel like they probably get irritated with me. Like, oh God, I can't fit that many in here, Tyler. Like, just do it. I'm like Anthony Edwards.
What am I paying you for?
But that's how I am. I get super excited about the villains. Like it's all because of Clash of Arms. It all goes back to Clash of Arms. It really does. It's fucking awesome, man. It's I could bore people to death talking about it because it's what I want in an animated series. What I want in any current comic book is this kind of simple storytelling, but seeing these characters drawn perfectly and beating the fuck out of each other, because that's what we all did with the toys in our spare time, and that's what we wanted to see anyway. So, unfortunately, people just can't seem to get past their major hard-on for multiverses and bullshit. So we'll never fucking get it unless fans like ourselves take on the task of giving people what they want. Am I right, Rebecca?
Absolutely. I've thought about that. I'm like, I so want to get into short films, and Clash of Arms would be like, God, to bring that to life, be like a dream come true. Like, that'd be so cool. I so want to do He-Man short films so bad. I just gotta get better at it.
Well, when you start doing that, I want you in one of your films. I want Joe purposely with a sword, just whacking at some bushes.
That's gonna be your role. I will be there as He-Man, and Joe's just gonna be in the back, like whacking.
You see a guy with a scarf and a mask. What the fuck's going on back there? That's all I do.
Groundskeeper Willie. Joe's wearing plaid.
You start the movie, and if you end the movie in a scene, you'll still see that guy back there still fucking doing it as the credits are rolling.
That would be the post credits thing.
Yeah,
it's dark outside and you're still out there doing it. Yeah.
Like, is this supposed to mean something?
or you think like Joe's gonna take his mask off for the end credits, and then it just fades to black. He's like, oh God, I gotta take the mask off.
Or no, it has that wide shot of him still doing that, right? And then the camera pans closer to Joe, and you see him like reach like this, and as he starts to lift up, that's when the screen goes
there
black.
You go.
Or we insert somebody else's face, like it was me all along, or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, just put Vince in there. Son of a bitch.
And real quick to 3 live stream in the chat, definitely get that mini comic collection book from Dark Horse. It is fucking well worth it. There's so much shit beyond the mini comic, but you'd love it. And you don't have to worry about getting each individual one. And look at Rebecca has it. Like I said, it's a big ass book, so it's well worth it.
I kind of feel like that's what we usually use. Everybody does on this show as like a reference point. Like I know sometimes, Joe's got that.
It's terrible, Nathan?
I know Tyler does.
It's a habit. I can't help it. I keep going back to my actual. Like I have all these put into like a portfolio thing where they're all individually in there, and then for the show, get a little refresh, give some shit, and I pull them out, and it's like, why am I doing that? I got this big book from Dark.
I know.
So I don't
you're gonna
have
get
to
your
these.
fucking butterfingers all over those amazing vintage books.
I have zero common sense. Really, zero common sense. I can't stop doing it.
Don't you guys just love the back of those mini comics too, where they would have like 6 figures in the cross-sell artwork and then a list at the bottom there? That's what also in fact.
Show it, Joe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There. Oh, just beautiful.
I used to sit and look at the back of those mini comics, and I had a bunch of them. They all had the same, except for the 86 wave. And
I was always so disappointed, again, about Ram Man and then Triclops. Like, damn, those look so cool. The figures are still cool, but not like this. But Ram Man, what a pile of shit figure we got. I hate that figure, especially when I thought I was getting that sumbitch there. Really, now that's my story. Is when I seen that, I was like, man, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with the figure? It's horrible. God, they messed that up.
I prefer that color scheme for Ram Man. So when I actually added Ram Man to my classics collection, I went with the Super 7 Ultimates.
Oh, did you?
Because I like those colors better.
Did you end up getting a Stratos figure?
What, for classics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Stratos.
Oh, that's a shame. But you're gonna say no and make me happy. Oh, whatever.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Stratos, when I was watching those NYP episodes, like I just couldn't get past that poor man's Sean Connery voice that he
and it was
used.
always a constant joke in the community when that show was airing. Like everyone was always making Sean Connery jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would go that direction.
Yeah, it's just
because when I think of I don't think of like Sean Connery's voice.
Well, plus too, knowing that everybody who watched it thought the same thing. Like, is this supposed to be a joke, or you really thought like Sean Connery playing Stratos sounded cool? It was just kind of one of those things that was never.
I felt like there was some kind of like inside joke with the creators, and like just watching it as somebody who's not in on it, it's just like, well, this is just confusing.
Right, it probably was. Yeah, which I question a lot of stuff. Like we said, there was a lot of pros to NYP, but there was a lot of cons to the show too. Like that's why I don't go back and we've done commentaries for the show a few times, but it's not something I sit down in my spare time and watch NYP. I just don't, unless we're doing. We were going to review an episode coming up soon or something like that. Like, I just don't have the need to sit down on YouTube or bring out the DVD and watch any of the
Island. Let's watch The Island. Let's watch that piece of shit.
Well, let me mention something about Stratos. I might not have enjoyed his voice in NYP, but I actually did like that Stratos a lot. I at least thought he looked cool as shit. I got into him compared to the vintage shit toy, and then Filmation, I guess he was okay. He could blast stuff out of his hands, but still, he's a fucking worthless piece of shit. So hey,
kind of like you, Joe.
Well, one thing I would like.
Nathan, can you tell Joe that Stratos is awesome?
Joe.
I want this shtick to never end.
Rebecca says, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
This will be the new thing. Yeah. She passes everything she addresses to me to Nathan.
Yeah. And Nathan just like, fuck you. She says, fuck you.
Yeah, that's
Rebecca, I gotta admit, that would be one of the craziest gimmicks in all of history if that lasted in every episode. You never directly address me, but you always say, Nathan, tell Joe this. Nathan, tell. It was like, why the fuck does she never talk to Joe? That would be a crazy-ass gimmick, but yeah, we can't.
That'd make a great T-shirt, too. We get her face on there with like the little...
Nathan, tell Joe to fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We do need to start having some show-specific shirts made from some of the junk that we've talked about.
I think so too. It's like makes you part of this super niche inner crowd. That if you have a T-shirt with something that one of us has said on the podcast, it's like no one else is going to get it, but you get it because you listen to this podcast. Like I always, because we've said a lot of memorable stuff on this podcast. But like that's pretty damn memorable. Like it should be on a T Public shirt or something like that. If we had someone who's wanted to take the time to follow through on the words. I
promise I'm gonna get to some more. I put up a lot. I'll get more. I promise. I swear. And then
you know what? I actually a couple days ago I messaged Joe and I was like, you know what would actually be pretty cool to put on shirts is on the back of the New Adventures figures on the card backs on there where they had the triangles and you got each character. I'm like, Joe, do this. He's like,
well, tell them what I actually did first. No, he showed. No, you hold up, Nathan. Tyler, Rebecca, this is what happened. He showed me the back of that, and I was like, no, actually, this would be better. And I showed the card front with optic in all his glory on the front.
I mean, that would be too, but I'm just trying to make it easier for you where they're like the character's just in the triangle. I'm like, this is what Joe wouldn't really have to do that much.
You're saying I'm simple-minded? I can't do shit beyond that?
No, but I know what he's talking about when he said you went, oh, well, yeah.
I mean, I told you about optic like ages ago. I'm like, yeah, that would be a really cool image to put on a shirt.
I don't remember you saying
Where's
that.
The shirt?
I want Chaos. Get Chaos cross-cell artwork put on there, man. Fucking
A.
Cool. Rebecca, they're making all this up. They ain't never said none of that to me. I don't remember any of these fucking conversations at all. But
what
yeah, so there's.
Of course you don't, you senile old man.
Joe, make me a Stratos shirt.
Okay, what? I said okay, and then I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, you're stuck in it now, man. You have to do it.
You promised it there, Joe. You said you'd do it.
I mean, with Grimm's permission, maybe we could put those shirts up where Stratos is kicking your ass. We can put those on, and people could buy those. That would make a great shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe in his skid mark Steve underwear and his holy socks, and it'd be great.
Well, since we're doing
Now Joe
classic
trimming head.
Yeah.
Trimming bushes with a sword.
Trimming the hedges.
Joe weed whacker.
Oh, fuck's sake. If you guys in the chat room have any
Wait, no, I had one more thing to say, Joe. That I
why
think
do you say that? If you guys have anything worse in the chat,
you got to
any
give him a
questions,
chance to
think
speak
topic.
there, Joe. Instead
No,
of
yeah.
steamrolling.
I'm sorry.
Rebecca, can you ask Tyler to ask Joe if it's okay for me to say one last thing about this mini comic? Anyway,
Joe, he says eating his ass.
No.
Yeah, each time one of us passes on, we pass on something totally different.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Circle of Doom is something that I would like to see explored more. So Tyler, I would like to see you maybe write another news story that would kind of involve more with that, and I don't know. I would just like to see something like that done more, because I've always enjoyed like the gladiator.
I actually had
aspects
thought about
of stuff.
that. Honestly, the first actual illustration I did was actually based on that concept, and Gladiator was an inspiration, but it had Clamp Champ and Lizard Man chained at the wrist, and having to take on Tuvar, Saurod, Blade, and Ninjor in the Circle of Doom with Skeletor. Well, that was my idea for that. Just with no weapons.
Oh yeah.
It's just, Clamp Champ's got, one hand chained up next to Lizard Man, so they got to figure out how to fight these guys. No weapons. It was just kind of my idea. But, yeah, and but I had thought about just revisiting the Circle of Doom in general. I don't know if using those characters or making a story out of that Axel illustration that he did for me. Maybe we get Rebecca to draw it for us,
See, unlike them, if you ask me to keep adding characters, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll add that. Like, I'll get excited there. Like, the more characters you say to add.
Yeah, but trying
Now we gotta
let people know, like, I'm trying to get Rebecca, like, I know she can be busy with PowerCon here, but hopefully when that's over, I got all these ideas. Nathan's pushing me to tell these ideas, and we tell Joe to go fuck off. And we focus on getting these great stories, like, put together on paper with Rebecca there. I want to have something special for you people there.
Absolutely. That'd be so
cool.
Like I said,
we could do mini comics. We could do uploads for people to watch the leisure. We don't know what we could do there. Haven't had a chance to talk to her, So I'm throwing it out here live to you people. If you guys are interested in these thoughts, these ideas, these theories and things, speak the fuck up. Have something to say. Don't just be sucking on Joe's nuts and saying he's a good old guy. There's 3 other people on this podcast here, people.
Here, have some ramen.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy. I always say that.
We're not questioning the
that
logic
spider
of whether you're a good guy or
disagrees, Joe.
Yeah. Slice that
That
some
spider
bitch in
fucking
half.
had babies, and you severed the stomach.
Yeah, that spider has a family, Joe.
No, it was weird. Never seen anything. I've never seen a spider bum rush me like that. Try to come and get me. That was some weird shit. But
Well,
were
you wearing the mask when you did it?
Yeah.
No. The fuck out.
I've actually, as it turns out, I have Joe's room bug, so I actually have an image here of what went down mere moments before we started doing the show.
Are you putting something up for us to see or something?
Yeah, I'm just something.
Yeah, you'll have to send it to me so that way I can see what exactly Joe did.
Exclusive.
Yeah, I don't.
This is live.
All I see is you guys. I can't see the chat or anything.
Let's see. Send you that. I haven't put it up on screen yet, so
Yeah, 'cause I'm waiting.
you guys get the first dibs on
Oh
this.
Lord.
That's
So they
what
get to
I
see it
was
before
talking
me?
about. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they get to see it before you.
Oh,
So
what a
this is
dick.
this is what happens.
Oh, yeah.
There we
I
go.
love that scene.
And I have a 30-second delay, so I still gotta wait. Nothing still
Well,
isn't
Joe,
popped up on the screen.
This is it. This needs to be on a T-shirt also.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm waiting to see what kind of
well, that-
dipshittery Nathan came up with.
Oh, no, this is brilliant work, Joe. Even you'll appreciate this.
What a dickhead. I see it. What a
Help
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, see, Rebecca can do the voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nate.
But
It
this
always
is
pisses me off,
what
like,
really
that they're just
happened.
watching it. Like, Vincent Price and the kid are just watching it get
I
eaten.
never saw it
I'm
as a
like,
kid. I just saw that clip of Little Monsters when he's watching. What the fuck is that? And he's like, help me. I'm like, oh my God. It was
and
like,
he's just like,
scared.
turn away, child. I'm like, help him.
I don't,
You know,
Vincent Price, lazy bastard.
back when movies like had balls to do like dark shit like that,
Mhm.
to like really make kids use their imagination and think, and like in a way kind of terrify them and make them afraid to go to bed. They don't do that
No,
anymore.
No.
They really
I have to
don't.
wonder, like, when I show my nephew, like, Wizard of Oz, would the Wicked Witch of the West, like, scare him like she scared the piss out of me? Or will he be just kind of, immune to, things that we saw as kids? We're like, oh my God, that was pretty damn creepy. Like,
Will he shit his pants like Joe?
Listen,
Yeah.
now, like I said, I
well,
wasn't.
see, Brian has seen the Hulk plenty of times, so I don't think he's well past that. So I don't think he'd be shitting a brick when he sees the Hulk.
Yeah, see, that's what you need to do. That would be the great test for any kids out there. Show them Lou Ferrigno transformation and the Hulk
Yeah.
TV show. See if they shit their pants,
And what
and
made
then
no
you can
sense
kind
is
of
like Michael
gauge
Myers
right
and
there.
horror characters did not scare me, but that just happened. But it was one time, damn it! I didn't shit no more after that. It was like everybody has one issue
And
where
you
they might.
shit other occasions.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't believe you.
all right, well, damn it. Let's see. I will pass it to you guys in the chat now. If you guys have any questions you want to ask us from the mini comics, cartoons, or any other random stuff, let us know. In the meantime, Rebecca, let us know what's going on. You're getting ready for PowerCon. Give everybody the dates and what's going on and what you'll be doing there.
I'll be sitting right next to Alan Oppenheimer and Melinda Britt. So
Oh,
that's going to be awesome. I just finished this today. I figured I'd show it off on this show. This is my William Stout sheer crown.
Oh my
I just
God.
finished
God,
today.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I finished.
How long did it take you to make that?
Gosh, it takes a long time because like it's anytime you have to sand something, it like takes forever just trying to get it smooth, and so I'm working on this since a week ago, just sculpting. It's
You've only been doing
like
that
a
a
piece
week?
of. To me, that's a long time.
Not,
It's a
look at
lot.
What you did that in a week. You went to work and did that too, and
I've also been not just this, like, well, things, because the stuff I use is called Air Sculpt, so it's really lightweight, so it doesn't give me a headache. It takes 24 hours to cure, so I have to sculpt a little bit, let it dry, then sand it, then sculpt a little bit more, sand it, and then prime it, make sure I got everything smooth, and then this morning, because I was up so late last night, or early last night, I woke up late and my boyfriend was like, "Hey, I painted it for you," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." So he
you
painted
did a great
it.
job with it. God.
I just can't wait to see everybody's
Makes me
reaction
tired
when you're
just thinking about
yeah,
it.
when you wear that. I can't wait to see everybody's reaction because again, we're gonna
Can't
probably
wear it
have
with
like
the- With the
90%
headphones
of
on.
fans are gonna wonder who the hell is that. They won't even know, which is gonna be
That's
cool when you're
ridiculous.
scared.
Me and my boyfriend are.
That's not Origins. But no, asshole. It's William Stout's design.
Do you have almost all the other outfit done, Rebecca? Almost everything for the rest of the outfit, or you still got a lot to do?
Almost everything. All I have to do now is a little bit on the chainmail, the gold chainmail skirt. It's already put together. I just have to trim it a little bit. It's too long for me, and then some of the belts. And if I have time, some weapons.
And
But
the
I'm
11th
not
and
that
12th is you'll be there the 11th and 12th, right?
Yes, I'll be there.
Do you have a booth number or anything like that?
Shoot, I don't remember my booth number. I think it was 120.
All right,
But
because I was gonna say you can
it'll be
shout
on
that. And I'll let people know to come to booth 120. But either way, they'll
Yeah,
know.
and wear your Fans of Power T-shirt. So I know the cool kids from
From the loser.
There you go.
the losers.
How much will you be charging for autographs and pictures there?
I'm gonna be promoting. I didn't have time to sell anything, like making
Wow.
it to sell.
So no 8x10s of you and John dressed up as various
No,
characters
I
or
wanted
something
to.
like
I
that.
wanted to do that, and instead of just like making them pictures of us, I wanted to make them look like movie posters or something cool,
man.
something other than just, it's just a picture of me in my costume. Make it look cool.
We need a movie poster of us. That's
Yeah.
what we need.
But yeah, I'll be there promoting
I mean,
Fans of Power and Simple Tricks.
That's awesome.
so what you need to do if anyone wants you to sign anything, fuck you, Joe, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's how you need to sign anything.
Like, why is that? Can you imagine that? Can't get any personalized stuff. It says all that on every
Or
single
some
one.
little girl wants to get her autograph, and she writes it on 8x10. Yeah, fuck you, Joe.
Yeah, fuck you, Joe. Cherish
Jimmy,
it
what does
forever.
this mean, Mom?
That girl's
We
gonna
need
have
that,
attitude
Joe.
the rest of her life.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people, children and adults, and everybody wanting to have pictures with She-Ra, which is going to be awesome. So, yeah, you definitely got to get pictures and videos. I got to see the reactions of some of them kids because they'll probably freak out. Just like, oh my God, they're going to think they're going to
Oh
be
yeah,
seeing.
we'll be filming a lot.
I can't wait to see you meet Melinda Britt. Like, I'm really looking forward to, like, I didn't know she was going to be there. So knowing you're going to be
Yeah.
right next to her, you won't be able to get anything done. You know, you'll commandeer her table the whole time. Like, I just, that's going to be something special. So
Like
I'm
when
really
I
glad
found
for
out I
you.
was gonna sit by Alan, I was like, oh, I wish I made Evil Lynn and just like stood there behind him the whole time, like, yeah, this lady,
You know,
you know.
Hey, Rebecca, at one point, you're going to have to give her your sword and the tiara to put on. I bet you that'd be
Oh
one
my
badass
gosh.
photo op. It's going to be awesome to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
I bet she'd wear it. You're gonna have She-Ra, like I said, wearing She-Ra's fucking tiara and having the sword. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of cool fucking photo bombs and videos that you'll be getting there. So, like I said, so that's why
You'll
I
have
wanted
to
you to
at least ask her, like, for your own personal benefit, to ask her to say for the honor of Grayskull. Like,
Hmm.
I know she's done it at
Gosh.
PowerCon like years ago, but and the whole crowd erupted. But like to get your own personal like, or
So, gotta have the video of it, her saying it, holding up the sword, doing it while she says it while wearing that. We'll shit our pants. That's gonna be a moment. Yeah, you gotta have John get a video of that, or you get that video. That'll be incredible.
Also meeting, well, I know William Stout, but having him see his She-Ra costume, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's going to be
His
tremendous
reaction
too.
to
Like, we won't even have an episode next week. It's just going to be talking about everything you experience. Like, it's just going to be you talking to Larry, you talking to William, you talking to Melinda, giving Alan Oppenheimer the finger for upsetting me, crushing my childhood dreams, and seeing all the.
Maybe you just
the
looked too much like He-Man that he was like, I'm gonna be a dick
He
to him.
refused to do it. He refused to.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh man, don't get his
That's what it
ego
was.
all inflated again.
Well, look,
What are you doing?
my
with
ego's
that?
already.
Come on.
It's already.
He's being in
it's-
character. He's like, you know what? He looks like He-Man. I'm gonna stay in Skeletor's character. And he's like,
That's
fuck
right.
you.
She's right. She's like, fuck you, man.
Oh man, I'm feeling nauseous all of a
Well,
sudden.
I'm sure Joe's got a bucket for you.
Oh, Christ. Well, let's
Or a Dixie
let me
cup
see.
to spew in. You're gonna spew into this. Anybody know what movie that's from?
Yeah,
I
What
don't.
is it from?
Wayne's World.
All right,
No.
all right. You got one.
That
You got
quick.
one. See, I got
I love
one
that.
since Carrie.
Well, let's see if I can find some
Those
questions.
get hard sometimes. I just get
What-
brain dead
Yeah, it
sometimes.
is. Well, like I
And
said,
then I'm
he'll
like,
say
how did I
something
not fucking get that?
I know.
Yeah, because
like,
what did you
you're
miss last week, Rebecca? Wasn't it something
Yeah,
about?
aliens.
Yeah, isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? That's bad. That's worse than when I missed a Friday the
She's
13th.
Miss Conan the Barbarian. I could
That was
I
the
could
worst.
Yeah, that was like, oh my god, like she's a fake.
I think aliens is
I
worse
mean,
because
it
you're
happens.
Newt.
It happens.
You're
to the best of
Newt.
us.
You shouldn't have forgotten
Nathan
anything about
Fox,
aliens.
Well,
Casey
Newt's
Jones
been-
quotes.
Yeah, Newt's just been my nickname since I was a little kid because I looked just like that as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe like you like the character and just like you just called yourself Newt or something like that. Like
It's been my nickname ever since I was little.
okay.
She's just making up.
Well, all right.
Listen to that
Well,
damn question.
she's had that since a kid. Tyler, did you ever have a nickname when you were a kid?
Not a full on like nickname. I like my gym teacher called me T-Bone in 5th grade, and then
T-Bone.
yeah, and then I think when I was more heavier, my dad and brother called me Sluggage. Sluggage, yeah. Whereas my brother was Chunk because he was heavy too, so we called him Chunk, and I was called Sluggish because I was really slow going up an escalator one time, and they just thought it was really funny, like he's sluggish. So, in terms of like people calling me that, it was just pretty. That's about the extent of my nicknames. So.
I remember
Other than
when
the
your
various
brother
things Nathan's
didn't want to
called me
be
over the
called
years.
Chunk anymore.
I don't remember telling me that though. His wife didn't like
Yeah.
it. She's like, I don't like that. So we had to stop doing it because I guess she thought it was offensive or something, but she just didn't like it.
Wow.
So we call.
Well, I remember when he didn't want to be called Chunk anymore. He wanted to just start calling him Ice.
Oh, did he say something like that?
Yeah. It's like, don't call me Chunk no more. Call me Ice.
Sure, he wasn't just
And I was
referencing
like,
Hocus Pocus though.
He could have been.
I can't
don't
see him
know,
actually
but
saying this as much as he was into like the rap stuff and in high school and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
You know,
oh yeah, all those shitty rapper movies
Yeah.
that he'd buy on DVD all
yeah,
the
like
time,
Baby Boy and
and Belly and.
stories about Joe's life. But
No, see, I see Joe's life not being so much like the modern 2000 rapper movies, but more sort of like Breakin' and Breakin' 2, you know? I
Yeah.
see Joe's life taking more after that.
Joe's casting out this white girl. She doesn't know what we do, and he finds out she can dance, just hang with the rest of us there. And then they have their big dance off, and Joe's walking on the ceiling and everything. And
Yeah, just like Lionel Richie, man.
yeah,
Cases. Let me get to some of these.
Joe, you had a nickname, right, when you were a kid?
Oh,
We talked about that before?
well, I mean, there's a lot of different nicknames, but one, I mean, just mainly through school from.
I'm sure a lot of us
Wow,
hate white boy.
It was one I can't. I won't say one of them, but the other was
Yeah,
they like calling me Bud Bundy because they said I looked just like Bud Bundy, so I got that shit on.
I remember you telling us that.
Were
So
you offended
look
by
like
that, Joe? Or
No, it was the thing was I felt so bad one time I went in the mall, and I shit you not, I was seeing so many people go by. It's Bud Bundy, Bud Bundy, Bud Bundy. Yeah, I hear the whispers, and I walked by these two ladies, looked like they're about 50, and they said, "Excuse me," and I actually snapped. I've never in my life snapped at anybody like out in public. I said, "No, I'm not fucking Bud Bundy," and they said, "No, I was wondering, could you go in and get the Beanie Baby out of that store because they can't give us any more?" And said one per customer, and she had money. I was like, "Oh, I am so
Wow.
sorry," and I was like, "I'll do." I was like, "I apologize." I said, "I just had a bad day." Everybody was saying I looked like Bud Bundy, and I snapped, and I felt terrible. So I went in, got the Beanie Baby, come out, gave it to her. So I'm sorry again about that. It was the only time I ever snapped in public. So I was like, "Oh, I can't do that again." If people want to say it, go ahead.
Oh, I'm
But I felt-
surprised that you're such a fan of Married with Children if you're scarred for life of being, called Bud Bunny. That's what happens.
it's like,
You're scarred by
it's cool. Like, to a degree, it's like, hey, it's cool. Somebody might think you look like a celebrity. That's fine. But when that day was just not a good day when I was at the mall, I was just the mutterings and the just whispers, and you could hear it by everybody I was walking by. And I guess I did not have. Oh, you just put it up on the screen, you fucker. I just seen it on the street. I did not have a good day, and I snapped at that. Like I said, with those two ladies.
Is that so? If you guys are wondering what Joe Amato looks like, this is the closest that we have.
Yeah, that's about the closest. Minus the mullet.
Grandmaster B.
Grandmaster B, but minus that mullet or shit that he had there.
No, you had a mullet once because you
Well-
were trying to be like
well-
shitty Ultimate Warrior or
well,
whatever.
kind of, but not like that.
Too.
Yeah, but not that poofed up in the front how he did in that version. But otherwise, when he got his hair short, my hair was pretty much almost exact like that, how he was wearing it later in the seasons. Oh, shit, let's get to some questions. Adam Gabbard said, what if Fisto didn't have his hand be gloved for any battle in the series for MYP? What would you have thought? I wouldn't have liked that, Adam. I
Then
hated
he
the
wouldn't
whole
be
big...
Fisto.
Because it's awkward.
Yeah, I just did
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
that big deformed hand like everybody here said. I was not a fan of that either. It just, yeah, the fist was, as we've seen, he could open and close it. I mean, we've seen him open it up, I think, even in the cartoon and in some of the comics and books
Yeah, in
and
Clash
shit.
of Arms, he has he grabs Whiplash's tail like that.
Yeah, and then he got slammed to shit. Yeah, but you're right. So I just seen it as just an extension, something he put over his hand. It was just something to beat the piss out of people that was bigger. But Grimbot said, question for Rebecca. If you clash with Kevin Smith, will you make a recording of it?
Mhm.
Uh-huh. See, look
I
at that.
see him coming.
Yeah.
If I see him coming, I'm gonna start recording.
She's saying, I like that kind of bitter lip.
Are you going to get antsy if you do see him like walking around bullshitting, making a goofy ass face in his purple jacket, trying to take all these shitty poses with people?
Oh yeah, I'll get pissy. And I'll just be like, what, are you gonna cry? Getting emotional now?
So we're gonna have some good. I'm sure she'll have some good shit for us. And Nathan, would you stop it? Now he's putting. Oh my God, he is actually putting Bud's shape and shoulders over my.
Dude, if I had the time right now, I would go into Photoshop and cut out the background and just overlay it over top.
Wait,
of
do you
your
want me to
head.
lean
Maybe for
down a
next
little
week.
bit or something? Because you almost have the shoulders fit onto my shoulders perfectly. What a dick bag. 3
I'm a
live.
good girl.
Oh shit! I just lost what 3 live streams said. He's well, first he says he doesn't mind when people diss on his channel. He says, I think it's awesome they stop by to thumb down, so he must have been having a conversation with somebody. But 3 live stream, he has his own channel as well. He's a good guy. Good to see you here, shit nuts. Zaymod has a question for Tyler. What do you use?
Shit nuts. Shit nuts is because Joe wipes back to front.
There you go. God, would you leave me the fuck alone? All right, Zaymont had a question for Tyler. Said, what do you use? Push, pull, splits, or a pyramid? That must be some fucking workout terminology. Is that workout stuff? I don't know what that means.
What?
What's the question again?
He says, what do you use? Push, pull, splits, or a pyramid? Is that
It
some kind of...
sounds familiar, but if you're talking about what I do for fitness, it's just classic bodybuilding. I don't do any no trendy stuff, no fucking CrossFit, no fucking powerlifting. I don't flip tires. It worked for Arnold and all the guys in the 70s, and it worked for them in the 80s, and before that with Steve Reeves and stuff like that. Then it works today too. So
yeah, it's funny how people feel like they have to reinvent something that already worked.
Nope. I eat just nothing but protein 7 days a week. I don't take any supplements. I just eat clean all the time. And just
Me too, Tyler. I eat clean as shit.
Yes, you do.
The healthiest guy.
Cleanest butter fried food the world has ever known. I mean,
it's a diet I recommend for everybody.
Well, if he's wanting to know something more about it, tell me. He can ask another question about. But I hope that answers this question. If not, Zaymont, ask it again. And I love Tomax and Zaymont. Just there, bud. I hope Classified puts them out before that line gets canceled.
Yeah, I know that whole stuff on the G.I. Joes, too. I know all that stuff.
Yes, you do there, Joe.
That's right. Curtis Ackerman said, and this is pretty cool. It was an announcement. The Four Horsemen are launching a new toy line on Friday on the 10th called Cosmic Legions. And he says he wouldn't be surprised if it has a Masters of the Universe vibe. But I did see that photo that Cornboy put up in the preview of that. I don't know the cost of it, but hell yeah, everybody keep your eyes open for that because that looks like it'd be...
Hopefully there'll be some new adventure references in there.
Which are characters I feel like need to be explored more and give a good light shown on them. Now I'm pulling a Tyler because I want to say shined, shown.
Is that what,
you know what I'm trying to say?
New adventures?
Yeah, just like all those I feel like those characters could be utilized more in today's material. I mean, because you think about it too, and we talked about this before with that new Netflix show that's aimed towards kids. I'm like, if they were, and I know it's like you would be bastardizing those characters by having them in that show, but if they're going that route with that technology and what they're doing, like those characters lend themselves to me personally way better in that kind of aspect than anything
taking
else.
Ramin and Tila, and honestly, I don't know who the fuck was in that cartoon. Like when I watched the trailer, I'm like, I don't know who.
Yeah.
Didn't they just release the theme song for it? Because I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, it's quite.
I started and I'm
bad.
like, I'm done.
No,
it's not very catchy. But with Curtis Ackerman, because I didn't get a chance to do this last week, I want to give him a big shout out and thank you, because he sent me Class 6 Battle Cat. I finally have Scareglow. He sent me a Mythic Legions figure, which is you can't see it on my can. It's like off to the side over there, but it is on the shelf now. And he sent me a He-Man Nightlight, which I have up on the shelf back there that you guys can't see. And he sent me one of those Mexican bootlegs, which I thought was really, really awesome. So thank you for doing that.
Very cool.
That was really awesome.
Incredibly nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was giving Nathan a little context behind a couple of those figures. He was curious about wondering what the items were and stuff. So I was letting him know about.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was a bootleg, but I didn't know that this was like other country bootleg kind of
cool shit.
I thought maybe it was just I thought maybe it was just something that had shown up in a dollar store like in the early 90s or something like that.
Okay. Well, you know what, Nathan, this will make you feel good. Somebody actually has a question for you, and that's 3 Live Stream. See, you're part of the show. 3 Live Stream said, I have a question for Nathan. Sorry if I missed this. What is your favorite mini comic? C3 Live Stream, this is why we don't ask Nathan any fucking questions, because he doesn't answer.
No, I'm trying. No, I was just.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. I apologize. You go ahead.
I'm trying to think of all the ones that we've done on the show and all the ones I've read before. I would honestly, it would probably be this one, or like any of the other ones that we've done. And no, sorry, I can't just off the top of my head be like, here's the name for it. But any of them, like this one. And it goes beyond that too, like any episodes of Filmation or whatever that don't where He-Man is not the sole focus, and we're getting other characters involved. That's what I gravitate towards.
Yeah, because I mean,
One-shot characters. I dig the hell out of that stuff too. So
and they did it.
Hey,
They did it
but
right
I'll
though.
probably
Because
this.
you're right. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
focus on it, but he still shows up in the issue or the episode of the cartoon. But yeah, sometimes those one-offs, it's good. Like you said, a constant thing of completely no He-Man that could fucking annoy people.
Mhm.
But I get what you're saying, man. But no, thanks for that 3 live stream, and I love giving Nathan shit. Papa Huds has a question. I can't really answer this because I don't. Like I said, I don't know much of the guy beyond the stuff.
Oh,
I've
it's not a
seen.
question.
Is it about G.I. Joe?
Exactly. This is going to be more for, well, you three, especially, Nathan and Tyler, because I know they know more of this guy. I'm I felt like I dismissed Rebecca. I didn't. It's just, I've seen their responses of this
Sexist
guy.
pig.
His question was, if you all could say one thing to Kevin Smith, no holding back, what would you say? The reason I didn't, like I said, I have nothing to really say is because I've never seen his movies, but Tyler and Nathan always talk about him and his
this does
movies.
apply to you because you are familiar with what he's currently responsible. Well, and remind people, look, it ain't just Kevin Smith.
Exactly.
You guys got to remember Rob David and that Netflix. Tim, whatever his name is. I don't.
Biaselli or is that
Biaselli. Those 3 guys have more to, or those 2 especially, have more to do with the product that we got than Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith was brought in just to hype the show up and maybe add some shitty contributions to it and bring in all of his buddies to fucking voice the show.
He's the puppet with their hand up his butt.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and I know people like Revelation, but that's neither here nor there. If you don't like it, though, if you do like it, you know who to thank. If you don't like it, it ain't just Kevin Smith. And it is shameful that Rob David is not coming out and taking his share of criticism. They're aware of it.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Oh yeah, they're just letting Kevin Smith get all the hate.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had a conversation with him and actually had to sit down with him for a little bit, I would. I'd probably talk to him about Clerks and Mallrats and stuff like that, but I would also tell him, like, dude, you gotta pump the brakes a little bit when it comes to your promotion, or not, because he doesn't handle criticism very well from what it looks like.
And he used to love to dish it out.
Yeah, but based off of how he handled Cop Out and how he handled with that, it's like, just step back from it. But Tyler's absolutely right. Like, it's not just Kevin Smith. Like, he plays a part in it, but like Rebecca said, he's just the puppet. And we've explained this plenty of times, he's just that vessel that a lot of people have seen on TV with comic book men or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, nerd guy, pop culture. Like, he's just there to promote, and it kind of like just blew up in his face a little bit.
Yeah, but for them to not come out and stand there with them and take their share of the public backlash, like, it's fucking cowardly. Plus, I don't like how these same guys are controlling everything that goes on with He-Man now. Like, Rob David's still writing the comic books. No one else gets to write it. It's no different than what Scott and Alec did with the bios. Only one person gets to do all the writing and the storytelling. It's unfortunate.
And he's doing a shit job of that.
Fucking he is, but I also feel like he would only be bringing in buddies. I mean, look what's going on with the mini comics and stuff like that too, with Origins. Like, nobody likes the mini comics. If you do, then you don't fucking know He-Man. If that offends you, good. It's unfortunate that no one else is allowed to come in, and because like, if you clearly aren't a fan of He-Man because it shows in your writing. So why not bring in somebody who can handle that so you don't have to? You handle all the day-to-day duties with the He-Man brand, with this line and that line and this piece of shit cartoon and that other one too. Do all the corporate bullshit. Let someone else do all the detail work, like writing and all the details of the stories and where we think we should go with this and where we should go with that. It's just all back to how it was with classics. One guy's calling the fucking shots, making all the decisions to make himself happy, and it's
which doesn't make sense because you look back in the 80s and it seemed like more of a collaborative effort between multiple people to put out something that they were genuinely proud of, and now it's just like, I don't know, I guess it's more like anything. It's you look at Star Wars, it's pretty much like one person. It boils down to that, and all aspects, like wrestling before, prior AEW. Like, who is it? It's one man calling the shots, and they all follow that same pattern of they don't want to listen to anybody. They have their own thing that they want to do, and they just make it revolve around them, and it never.
And favor the characters they like and treat the characters they don't like. It's like, well, too bad for you who do like Hero, because I don't like him, and I'm gonna treat him like this, you know. So it sucks.
Yeah, but see, like, even if for example, even if Tyler was given the, hey, we want you to do this story, but you have to include King Grayskull, he wouldn't want to do it, and he would like hate it, but he would do something to make it work, and where he's not totally like dismissing, because at the end of the day, it's still a job.
I could, you know, it's one of those things. Like, I do, you know, I've joked about selling out and stuff like that, but I do have integrity when it comes to him, and more than anything else, like, if someone with intelligence, like, really liked what we had to say about the characters, what's lacking in story and everything like that, and said, like, hey, we want you, but we would like you to incorporate some of the more modern ideas, like a King Grayskull. I'm like, if you can let me work in Hero or work in various other characters that are heavily underused or not used enough, that's the same damn thing, excuse me. But just do it the way that I see fit. If I just have to play with King Grayskull, like, he's part of the myth, I could work within those parameters. Like, as long as I'm not being told to write a story, like if I have to make a He-Man story that acknowledges King Grayskull, fine, I'll do it. But it's in the background. I'm not writing it. Yes, in this world, King Grayskull fucking exists. Doesn't mean I still couldn't write a good Clawful and Jitsu versus, you know, He-Man and Mechanic story or something like that. You know, I could still work with it as long as you leave me the fuck alone and let me write something that I know is going to appeal to a lot of people. May not for everybody, but I you know, I talk with these three, excuse me, a lot about what we like.
It's all right. You exist outside of your own body.
Yes,
fine.
I do. But we all share the same consensus for what we want to see. I know, you know, Grambot in the chat room. I think some of the other people in the chat room feel the same, which is a certain extent. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. But I think we can all, you know, safely say all of us want to see these characters beating the shit out of each other, see them portrayed in a very respectful manner that doesn't demean them, treat them like morons. Everyone's treated as equals. Males and females, heroes and villains. They're all just as threatening to each other. The heroes are just as threatening to the villains and vice versa. There is no downplaying or demeaning characters for the sake of being woke or you know, we got to demean the men to make the women look stronger. You don't fucking get it. That's not storytelling. That's agenda based. Like, you guys have heard all this shit. It's so easy to it's so easy to do. It really is. It just bugs the shit out of me that people today refuse to. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No, as a woman, that's always bothered me when they would dumb down a man to make her look better, because that's saying, like, I can't be as good unless he's lower than me. You can't stand eye to eye, if that makes sense. It's it's insulting.
That's even more specific to the point of how it's stupid. Like, it's like what Joe.
It's insulting. I don't need you to act dumb to make me feel smarter, you know? Or I don't need you to act weak to make me feel stronger. It's...
Or like making a male character a female. Like, don't you feel better, Rebecca? We made Clank Champ a female. Aren't you happy? We're for women's rights and equality and making more women in media. Don't you like that? Aren't you happy with what we did?
When there's no need to, because there's already abundance of female characters in there that they're not using.
It just shows the lack of creativity. I mean, it's dead and buried. And I hate it. We really do have to rely on fans to keep, you know, purity alive. Like, you know, people who get tired of us ranting, or me particularly, ranting and raving. I just want the best product out there possible for everybody, men and women of all ages. I don't want people to have to sit there and just settle and accept everything that's thrown at you, because then you're numb to everything. You're numb to quality, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't have. If you don't settle. Star Trek or Star Wars or Transformers or G.I. Joe or Marvel and DC, then why the fuck do you feel like you have to settle with He-Man?
Yeah, have some standards. If somebody puts a Masters of the Universe sticker on a piece of shit, are you going to accept that?
I got to buy everything.
No, exactly. Well, it's something new. It's something new. You should just be grateful we're getting something new. It's like, but it's literal shit.
Oh my god. mentality.
But yeah, there is a lot of that, which I still can't wrap my head around. But so all of you know that, like, out of this entire crew, I'm the one that's coming into most of these things, most of these stories, most of these episodes for the first time, with the outside eye looking in and being like, this is what I like about it. And you can see just the stark quality difference between a 14-page mini-comic written almost 40 years ago and the issue 2 of the prequel comic that just came out. Like, it follows all those story beats of shit that you just don't do. I don't need to feel sympathy for Skeletor. I don't need to know his backstory. Less is more. Like, simple, effective storytelling is all they need to do. And for some reason, everybody feels like everything needs an explanation, that we have to lay it all out. And I'm like, it immediately takes me out of it. Not to mention that, like, the dialogue written there is just so inconsistent. Not just for the character, but just the whole thing. Like, I'm reading it and I'm like, this character would never talk like this anyway. I don't think any character would say something as stupid as this. Why is this in this book? Who decided, like, this was great to keep in here? And it's like that with everything now. Like, Tyler, you talked about Marvel films. Since we had a new Marvel movie and haven't seen it, I'll watch it down the road, but I feel fairly certain that it follows that same formulaic pattern that all the other films have done for, what, almost 10 years now? Like, give us something different. Change shit, but for the better. I don't know. We're just going around in circles with that, but, like, what is missing here? Why do they keep just completely passing over what makes all of that stuff great? Why do they feel like they need to fix and change things all the time?
It still baffles my mind that they can't get Fantastic Four right.
Oh,
it's
God.
like the most simple, pure form of superhero, and they still just can't fucking do it.
They overcomplicate it, and I guess that's why they feel like this works in comic form. This does not work on a movie script. Like, who the fuck says it doesn't work in a movie script?
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
No, because you're just... And directors just get their heads up their ass, and they're like, I gotta put my stamp on it and make it my thing, and not stay true to what it actually is.
I feel like that's the same mentality that works everywhere. Like, I don't feel the people who've worked on He-Man here recently are the legit fans they claim to be. You can be a fan of it.
It's a paycheck. It's a paycheck.
I'm a fan of Star Wars, a big fan of Star Wars. I would never want to write a Star Wars movie or even think about that. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, just because you like something doesn't mean you're qualified to do it, and that's continuing to go on. These assholes just know how to say the right thing at the right place at the right time, and by God, here's a picture of him with a fucking toy in his hand. Well, he must like the property. Put him on there. And just, obviously, Mattel doesn't ask much or need much credentials to put someone on the He-Man brand, because I guess they'll just fucking put anybody on there who likes to make up their own stories and make sure no one else gets to touch it, like Scott did. Scott, I like, and Rob David. They are two peas in a pod. They're doing the exact same fucking thing over and over and over again, writing their own personal stories, shitting on crossovers left and right. And no one's telling them no.
And I don't want to make Tyler's ego bigger than it already needs to be, but it does need to be stressed and said that I have read, because you guys have seen the Leech mini comic that he's done. We've done that on the show. I have seen other stories, read other stories that Tyler has done, and I'm like,
it's fucking awesome.
How was, like, that's not, it's not hard to replicate that and make it, like, mean something. Like, yeah, of course I'm not going to sit down and write that because I'm not the guy to do it. But, like, when he does it, you're like, that makes sense. This works. What? Why can't anybody else do this? Anywhere. I don't know. Joe hasn't said anything in a hot minute.
I would.
I think he's gonna
no,
explode.
no. I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm cool. It's just like I said. I don't ramble all the time. I want to show. I don't cut people off. I'm good. I'm nice. I say it a million times.
Oh, that's what it was. He was just trying to prove a point to himself.
See, look at that. I can be good. I almost exploded, by the way. I was fucking going crazy. I didn't say a word. No, it was good. It was good hearing all your guys' points. Timothy Tangeman, you can go back and listen to a couple times Tyler and I have talked about why we don't like King Grayskull and what we think about him in comparison
I'll
to
give him
one hero.
one quick, if he wants to, like, yes, we have thorough discussions. We actually did one not too long ago.
Yeah, just
But
type in Fans of Power King Grayskull and you'll see what we have to say. But yeah, go ahead.
it devalues the importance of He-Man. The multiple He-Mans, that in a nutshell, He-Man should be his own character, not multiple He-Mans. I don't care what you say, Deucin. Biff, Beastman, and T.E. Scott were part of the Bible, too. So not everything that was written before needed to be carried over, dude. He-Man, there should be hero dies, the power of Grayskull is put in Grayskull by the elders, and it stays dormant. Decades, centuries go by, sorceresses over the years, if you want to go that route. And then when the time comes, Skeletor arrives, and that's what we crown a champion in He-Man and eventually She-Ra. It needs to be like the opening of Sword and Stone, where the Castle Grayskull is forgotten. No one knows what it is, but they just stay the fuck away from it until shit arrives on Eternia. Now it becomes of more significance.
Yeah, that goes to something. I think I talked to you, Joe, about this in messages like a long time ago. How I always like, but now modern movies definitely don't like, is the idea of a chosen one. And they do not like that now. It has to be, we all have the power. It can't just be one He-Man. It's got to be like, well, all these other guys were He-Mans too. That kind of thing. I don't.
You're right. I mean, every story.
This dude can't be the chosen one. She's got to be the chosen one too.
You're right. I mean, it drives me absolutely
makes no
insane.
sense.
No, you're right. You can have a chosen one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you're right. Everybody has to have, like they say, a participation award and a trophy. Everybody's got to be part of the team to be the lead with everything. It's like you can have all these other players, as we know, Masters of the Universe. God, there's all these other fucking characters that make up this world. So why do you have to share all the power and everybody could be as strong as He-Man? It's like, no. Then what makes He-Man special? You have Cyclone who can be special.
Yeah, that takes away the entire significance of why the
and that's why it was so
is
brilliant that
important.
they put She-Ra on another universe.
Exactly, and she is the main. Right,
it's
she's
in
the
her
main
own world.
lead.
He's in his own world, and it's not like she's on Eternia being just as good as he is.
Exactly, and they all have their cast of people that are there with them with their own unique special abilities. That's the whole fucking gimmick of it.
And
their names and their looks and designs.
Situation is vastly different from He-Man's, whereas He-Man is
one's trying to free, one's defending.
Yeah, and I love that
brilliant.
contrast, and people don't seem to fucking get it.
That's what I mean, and I just the thoughts of when they want to say everybody can be a
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We have that little bit of delay.
Keep interrupting him, please.
No, but you're right. And she's not just a female He-Man. But yeah, that's the other thing is when they have to make it to, like, at least nowadays, seem like everybody can have the power. Everybody can. It's like, no. It's like we said again, with Mechanic, Ram-Man, Cyclone, any of the characters you think of, they're all unique. That's what makes them special. They have their place. And He-Man has his place. Yes, he is the most powerful man in the universe. Yes, he is the center and the main person in the story, the one that is chosen to wield that power, just like Adora / She-Ra. She's the chosen one for that. Not everybody has to have that. And you're right, it's not only in this stories, but it's something I've noticed. My dad even mentions this. It's like he was trying to watch the new MacGyver. It's been out for X amount of years. But it drives him insane because he was like, how many fucking people are on this show? The old MacGyver, it was just MacGyver and then maybe one sidekick or somebody else, and that's it. Why does every show have to have like 10 fucking people? It's like, why can't you focus on one person and have a good story? But now we have to have a relationship with this couple and this couple and this person and this person. It's like, I don't give a...
This person's related to this person? They're related to this person? Yeah,
right, it's too much. It's like, Jesus Christ, just give us one fucking thing. And yes, once in a while I'll have these, companion people or people in these other TV shows, but my dad can't stand watching this shit that's on nowadays because he says there's too many fucking stories. And I agree, it's like too many things. was like, the old MacGyver, goddamn, that was interesting to watch. I enjoyed that, goddamn it. But this new MacGyver was like, okay, there's 10 people on here. Who gives a fuck? I'm sorry, Nathan. I didn't mean to cuss 80,000 times, but it drives me
I
fucking.
had no idea there
I don't
was.
care. I knew you needed to get that out of your system. You haven't really done it the past couple weeks.
I had no idea there was a MacGyver remake.
Oh yeah,
there's that remake of that. I think.
CBS has been like
really bad about the remake.
they've had like a huge boner for like we got to remake all these shows. So it's like Hawaii 5-0.
Oh yeah, I know they
Yeah,
did
that
Hawaii
was
5-0 and
NBC,
Knight
NBC
Rider.
did
And...
Yeah, they did Knight Rider, and that blew up in their face.
Same thing with Knight Rider. Didn't they add so many fucking people like to that show? It's like, God, why?
I thought it came and went. Like I don't think it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was quick.
Lasted.
It was quick. I hated that shitty car. I mean, that shitty new car looked like crap to me. I
don't know. Vin Diesel wants to
tried
do
Charlie's
Vice,
Angels.
where I'm sure he plays both Crockett and Tubbs as street racers.
Hmm.
This he ain't enough.
Well, me, yes, shitting at the Incredible Hulk, but think of something as simple as that story. It's just leave me alone. Leave me alone. But
let's all think about Joe crapping his pants.
All right. Well, of course we had David Banner and that, not Bruce, but you know what I mean. So you have David Banner / Hulk, and this guy is going all around the fucking United States, and it's all on him. And then these stories happen. But they're fun stories. Could you picture if they try to do an Incredible Hulk TV series nowadays? They would add 8 people into the show and trying to figure out something every time. It just wouldn't be fun.
And the Hulk would show up once a month, at a
because it's watered down. They watered down the importance of one character because they're focusing on everybody else. It's like we don't need all this. That's why the stories suck. It's like quit the watering and diluting. Just get it on a good focal point of this character, this story. So maybe someday this shit will come back. I don't know. I have no idea.
No,
probably not.
It's just us. We're going to keep it alive.
Everybody's so creatively bankrupt in Hollywood now.
Yeah. We
have Retro Blasting in the chat. What the fuck did he have to say? Let's see. Where can we see Tyler? No, that was a Monkey Boy Cloth Cat said. Where can we see Tyler's mini comics?
There's a link.
There's
a link in the.
The link.
I want to say there is a link in the description below.
There's one I don't have. What did you put up the layouts for the Clamp Champ Ninja mini comic, or was it we just did an episode on that?
We just did an episode on it, but if you want, I can put that up and start making that a link so people can.
Oh
see
yeah,
that
I did too. One did get finished, one did, and hopefully someday I'll get to do some more stuff. But I've been talking to Rebecca too. We'd like to do some fan projects come along there as well that are me doing the writing or doing the drawing.
There you go. And our favorite fan of Stridor is here in the chat, and that's Michael from Retro Blasting. We got this dipshit here who says chosen ones are tired, and everyone getting trophy is also tired. Yeah, definitely with the trophy thing, and some level of a chosen one, but we still need to have a good fucking chosen one story once in a while. But yeah, I can agree with you there.
And he said, hence why Snake Plissken is the greatest postmodern protagonist.
See, so he gets it. So you're all right, Michael. I guess you're okay. What is it, Watteau or whatever he said? Richard the Lionheart said on top of a fucking horse that drove me nuts. But Michael's an awesome guy, and if you guys haven't checked out Retro Blasting, which I'm sure you have, because
Michael, you want to come back on the podcast with us here soon, bud? I'm just going to throw it out there because I know we talked about it, but since he's here, might as well ask him while he's here.
No, I get fucking annoyed because he's going to piss me off. He's going to say something to rub me the wrong way. But yes, come back, Michael.
Then Joe's going to start doing this with his hands.
Hey, Michael, I just wanted to say, though, and for anybody out there, if you haven't seen Retro Blasting, their channel, and I'm sure you have because he's got like 100,000 subscribers, so, it's not like he needs me to promote him, but check out Retro Blasting. It's an awesome fucking channel. Great guy. He has amazing content, and check out his stuff. Not that he needed Joe Mauer to promote his channel, but you know what? I tried anyway. See, Mike, I'm a good guy. I'm not a dick.
Are you done?
And he froze.
Left on that. I'm not a dick. What a dick.
Wait, is he still in the call? Right. That would be amazing if he just...
He's still talking.
Oh, there we go.
Even aware of it.
Yeah.
What? I'm not here? Did I get it lost?
You paused after you said
you froze off. I guess Joe got lost in his own words.
I didn't know some bitch. Curtis said if you had to rewrite.
That's what you get for talking shit about Michael.
Okay.
That's what you get.
Okay.
That's
Retro
karma,
Blast your
motherfucker.
ass.
I'm sorry. What
Yeah.
Retro Blasting did say, I'd love to come back for Stratofest 2021. See, he's pissing me off
That's
already.
what. You know what? That's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm gonna title it.
Oh, well,
Stratos
we
Fest
have Michael on.
2021.
We do an episode review of the Betrayal of Stratos. So we get Rebecca's take and we get Michael's take. It's all about, yeah.
Done.
And it
And in the back.
tortures Joe the entire time. So why not? Let's celebrate the greatness of Stratos. Have Michael on. Make Joe pissed off the entire show. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
One last question from Curtis Ackerman, which is only going to annoy me too.
Well,
If
maybe
we had to
Michael's got a
rewrite-
question for us. Did you ask him?
He
Maybe
don't have
he's
no
got
more
a-
questions. He's done.
Maybe he does.
He's,
Maybe he wants to ask us something very intelligent
I
that
think
doesn't
he
require
left-
authentic American Italiano response, you know?
I think he left the chat. If he's still here, he can throw up a fucking question. But let's go to Curtis. If you had to rewrite King Grayskull's backstory completely to make it fit better, how would you do it?
I think we answered this question a while back. Someone asked us like what we would do, but to kind of piggyback off of that, I wouldn't make King Grayskull would not be the source of He-Man's power. That comes from the wizardry of Hero after Hero dies. The others take the power, put it in Grayskull. So when they're kind of gone, they need a safeguard to kind of watch over the people at that time and maybe even guard Grayskull before a sorceress even comes up. Like he is just a great warrior. He's not the source of He-Man's power. He's not a fucking giant either. He is just a kind of think of Bullvi from a 13th Warrior. Think of something
Along
like
with
that.
Battle
Just
Lion, who's like 2 or 3 times bigger than Battle Cat too. It's like,
ridiculous
God,
in its concept
everything
in
bigger.
general. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'd make him
everything's
just a
bigger.
regular guy. You know, just someone that the people respected. He's someone that he could lead the charge for invading army, groups, vandals, the horde, or something like that. Something along those lines. Anyone else have like a stab at making the character not suck?
I would just
I
have him
wouldn't give
written
him-
out of the fucking. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Rebecca. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't, like you said, I would have just try and make him as different from Adam as possible.
Yeah.
Like,
No
I wouldn't give him the
similarities.
sword. I would have him do something for Grayskull, but not just be He-Man.
Yeah, like pre-He-Man. No power sword. He gets just a regular sword that was forged in his village or something like that. And he gets no, maybe he becomes king of the village or that particular area.
Yeah, no
And-
transformation.
No,
Just,
nothing like that. He's not, shutting down Hordak and grabbing the Horde members by the throat and throwing them down in a fucking hole. And
that's just, to me, they do this in movies so much. And Star Wars did it. It's like, oh, well, our Death Star's way bigger. Oh, well, our little old alien's way older than Yoda. It's like, I gotta size you up. Look at my He-Man. He's way stronger and bigger than your He-Man. It's just so fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
he's pulling a.
Yeah.
They're pulling a Joe, making it a constant pissing
Yeah, it's a
contest.
pissing contest.
Pretty much.
Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to rewrite him. I just don't want him in the fucking universe.
well,
I
I mean,
can't
that'd be
stand
my
him.
personal preference is not to acknowledge the damn character. But if it was like Rob Davis, like,
You had
man,
to.
you had to, and he comes along with his bullshit, and they're like, you stay the fuck out of this, or hit you in the fucking face.
Well,
Yeah.
one last thing, and it is from Retro Blast, and he said he would like to come back. So, hey, Michael, if you're available, maybe in 2 weeks, so not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, would you like to come on and you can have a good discussion with all of us, and it'll be a blast.
Oh, I was going to
Stratos
tell you guys,
Fest
that Sunday
2021.
I'm working, but that Saturday I'm off. So if you want to do it on Saturday, not next week, the week after that.
Oh, the week after? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, will you be
I
available?
was gonna say Nathan may have to work or something like that because that's
shit.
always.
That's what I was
an
letting you
I,
guys know now.
well, I gotta work. I want to say this coming Saturday, so the 18th. I should be free. So
On that Saturday.
I know my schedule's the same. It's like, oh, that should be the case, but
yeah,
Okay, so
card subject to change.
all right. Well, listen, Michael. If you can make it maybe the 18th, cool. But if not, then it would be in 3
We'll just
weeks.
say sometime in the month of September or something like that. Then.
Yeah, here you go. Well, I think we got everything. And I'm sorry my whole fucking
We'll
internet.
coordinate.
I'm sorry the internet cut on me and everything. But yeah, I think that's about time. I got to
I
wrap
mean,
it up.
we expect nothing less.
There.
Joe Amato.
Exactly. So let me just say, for anybody that's new to this channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified when we go live. And my internet's fucking up again. And until next time, have a powerful day.
Open the door. Do not fail me. Rebecca better
Is that
know
the
this one, too.
Conan where they were doing the wizard shit in Conan?
No.
Oh fuck!
No.
Never mind. I lost.
Sorry, do not fail me.
Actually, Joe, I don't know this one too, but
Uh-oh. Wait, I should know that.
if Rebecca doesn't know this
Oh!
one too,
Is that when Skeletor told Evelyn to open the door with the cosmic key or some shit? Or I don't know. Was it from
Yes.
Master Universe?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I did good. I did good. Holy
Was that like the first
shit.
one you've ever gotten, Joe?
Thanks, Rebecca.
Oh,
Thanks, Rebecca. I appreciate that. I've gotten a couple. Damn it! I just missed that one
Good
Friday
job,
the 13th one.
I've got a
and
quote.
yeah.
several and all the other.
Oh wait, you got a quote? Or wait, what did you say? You got a quote, Rebecca?
Yeah. I want to know
Okay.
if you guys get it because I just watched this the other day. It's, thanks for the ride, lady.
Come on, Louise.
Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride, lady. Is this a horror movie?
Mhm.
Cause wow, that does sound familiar. Thanks for the ride, lady. Holy shit.
Thanks for the ride, lady.
I mean, if anyone's gonna get this, it's gonna be Tyler.
Was that
I don't
Rebecca? You got a ride? No? Fuck. Thanks for
I'm
the
not
ride,
sure
lady.
what it could
God.
be then. Especially with horror movie, like, because
Stephen
I
King.
mean, Tyler is.
Wait,
what's that?
Stephen King.
It's a Stephen King movie. Better not be Dreamcatcher. Movie's a piece of shit.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
Nah, I
what's
wouldn't
Silver
get it.
Bullets?
See, it's frustrating when you know it and you're just like, your brain's just not fucking working.
I'm gonna get it.
Shining.
Just
Because there's some Stephen King movies I haven't seen or all the way through. Like I've never seen all of Cujo.
I'd say it's an anthology film.
Oh, Creep Show?
Great Close? Yeah, it's Creepshow too.
Oh, Creep Show 2. See, I've never seen Creep Show 2.
Yeah, I love that segment. He's like, she's driving her car and he's just getting more fucked up and he's like, thanks for the ride, lady.
God damn, it's been a while. Oh, you got me on that one, Rebecca. See you guys
You knew
next
it
week.
though, right?
Shit. Yeah,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah,
I
he,
do.
he didn't know.
I do. I'm smart.
He didn't know his.
I don't know what's happening.
It's all about the mainstream horror stuff, and past that, it's he doesn't know anything else.
I'm a phony.
His old man brain can't
Thanks.
retain and hold all that information. Which
Piss off.
thanks Retro Blasting for kind of dropping.
Yeah, appreciate
Ninja
that.
3: The Domination.
Oh yeah,
Go.
which he's
What a weird ass movie that
he's
is.
a big fan of that film.
It's
He
great.
makes references to it in his videos sometimes. Like, okay, I think he's a fan of this film. The way he references it a lot. So
I mean, what's not to love about that? It's all over the place. It's got ninjas in it. You wouldn't. It's a horror movie. There's possessions.
has anyone else seen the movie Ninja Kids? It's like this Filipino film of like these kids get these magic medallions and they become ninja kids. Has anybody else heard of that movie?
Ninja.
Maybe Michael's
Ninja
heard of
Kids?
it too. I watched it as a kid called Ninja Kids and the something sword it's on YouTube to watch for free too.
Oh, Ninja Kids and the Samurai
That's
Sword.
it. Yeah. It had like all these like 80s songs. You're like, oh, this movie's so cool. And you got to make this like hand symbol come down over your magic medallion, you become a fucking ninja and stuff. Like, oh, so cool. But it's like poorly dubbed over. Like it's just such a silly, sloppy movie. But I thought it was so cool when I was a kid.
The Ninja Kids face their deadliest challenge, and the poster is kind of weird because, I mean, I can't really save it here to put it on
I
the
don't
screen.
think I
But
ever
there's
saw
like
the movie
three.
poster. I just saw the VHS cover. Had them like jumping into the air kind of thing. Joe probably saw it.
I'll have to. I'll
What
have
are
to
you talking
YouTube it.
about?
I'll have to YouTube it to check and see. And
You're
if
not
it
going
looks
to
familiar,
YouTube
I'll let you
anything.
know.
If you're not going to YouTube the trailer,
Yeah,
Michael, there we go. Michael's a Joe fanatic too. Michael, we need to guarantee that Joe's going to watch the trailer part 1 from G.I. Joe: Real American Hero because he keeps trying to dodge doing it. So send
I'm
him a
gonna
threatening
watch it
letter or
tomorrow.
something like that if you could.
I promise I'll watch it tomorrow, and I'll get you guys a full report next week. So, see you guys next week with my full report on that episode of G.I. Joe, which
And
I
Milan
fucking
just-
No, we
forgot
won't.
already. See ya.
Yep.